I'm like so anal about it. Like phone wallet keys all the time.
That's how you keep track of everything.
Yeah, it's the secret pocket. You just shove
whoop.
Just right up there.
Hey, I'm Marcus.
I'm Atrax.
And I'm Nick.
We are Working Class Nerds.
Cue the intro. That's right, we are Working Class Nerds, the podcast that gives you no information about your favorite information.
Today is Thursday, March 30th, 2023, and you can find this. The TV was definitely at level 192 podcast on Apple Podcasts, Buzzsprout, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, Spotify, and anywhere you can find a podcast in the galaxy far, far away.
You can also find every single Working Class Nerds episode on YouTube. Just search for the Working Class Nerds podcast or go to youtube.com/MarcusB814. Click on playlists, click on Working Class Nerds, and boom! Every episode past and present right at your fingertips.
You can watch me definitely fail at video games Tuesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays at twitch.tv/MarcusB814.
And you can watch me play video games every single Monday night at 8:30 p.m. Eastern at twitch.tv/NickVern51.
We're all on the social media. I am at MarcusB814.
I am Atrax_A.
And I'm at Nick Vern. That's NEC Graveyard. In this week's episode, we are recapping PAX East. The three of us are back from our travel excursions, and we are ready to recap. But first, Atrax, besides PAX East, obviously, what have you been up to?
Well, man, coming back from PAX East, it has been a hectic weekend. So
describe your travel.
Yes. So I got home to describe the travel for PAX. I worked on Wednesday, worked a full 8-hour shift Wednesday, went home, had maybe half an hour to finish my packing, grab a quick bite to eat, out the door to the airport.
Yep.
Flew, had a 3-hour layover in one spot, flew
which
overnight.
Completely sucks ass.
It
100%.
actually wasn't too bad. I wish that my flight, if my flight was like 1 hour longer, it would have been perfect from Seattle to Boston. If that flight was 6 hours instead of 5 hours, I think I could have gotten a lot more quality sleep, but it was only 5 hours. So I flew overnight, got into Boston at 7:45 in the morning. Marcus and Nick picked me up. We went straight to PAX for the whole day. And then I got sleep later that night.
Right.
Coming home, then I got, my flight left Boston at 3:00, and I didn't get into my house until 2 a.m. Portland time, which is 5 a.m. Eastern.
Oh, that's terrible.
Jesus.
So I was traveling for well over 12 hours. And then I had one slight day at home, and then I come into work Monday and they're saying, hey, everybody's on mandatory 10-hour shifts instead of 8-hour shifts. And
what? That's kind of crazy.
Rip that guy.
I basically said, I can't handle that. Like physically, I can't handle that. So I will give you the best that I can, which is Monday and Wednesday. And, the rest of the days I need to work my normal shift. And even so, I am like destroyed. Like I'm probably just going to just go to bed after this. I can't. Yeah, Marcus is giving me the, poor Atrax.
Don't feel bad, Atrax. He did the same shit to me.
No, I know.
Especially when I worked with him.
Everybody else has it so easy compared to Marcus. He's the ultimate workload. I get it.
No.
I work 3 jobs.
Family
and kids.
Yeah. Well, I'm built
sand
different.
in my vagina.
I definitely don't have sand in my vagina. But like,
everyone else gets to play more games than me.
That is the truth.
There we
go. It is definitely excuse me. It's definitely, I'm built different than most people. That's pretty
Yes.
much it. But there's nothing wrong with I don't dog on anybody about
Actual stuff.
actual work or anything, because like here's the difference. Me working 10, 12, 16 hours, I'm working for me.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
When you're at your work, you're working for John Wayne Company. That who gives no fucks about you. You're employee number 16543. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's all you are. You're basically a clone trooper.
Right.
And you know what I mean? And for
CT
them to say it,
5555555.
exactly. Them saying mandatory overtime is like, holy shit, we got a big order and we got to get it out because we want to make an extra $1 million today.
Yeah. Or
You know what I
or
mean?
whatever.
Yeah. And it's an enjoyable place to work. So if they need a little extra, it's fine. But when when too much is expected of me, that's when I'm just like, all right, this is the best that I can do. And, we keep on keeping on.
Yeah.
So,
And just for the record, that extra overtime paycheck is pretty fucking sweet.
it's okay. It's all right. Anyway.
No, I agree. Hold on. Let me quick caveat about that. Like when I used to work at the hospital, I should say I still work at a hospital, but when I used to work in the ED, if you worked overtime, a lot of the times, like based on where our pay was, it wasn't worth it. So like you would work, there's a sweet spot where the overtime rate you would get, which is like time and a half, actually kicks you up into the higher tax rate bracket. And so you get taxed at like a 5 or 10% higher rate than you're like in the super poverty into like the middle class bracket. And like you actually take like one person's like, yeah, I literally took home less money working overtime because of the extra taxes. Now they'll get it back at the end of the year, but that's not how that's supposed to fucking work.
No.
Right.
So the key is if you're working overtime, it's anything less than 50 or less hours. As soon as you cross over 50 hours, you're automatically put in a different bracket.
Right.
Yeah.
So after 50 hours, it's not worth it to work OT.
Well, yeah, an extra shift would be over 50.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. So.
Well, 2 shifts actually.
Sorry.
36 is full and then 12.
No, it's
but
okay.
48. Yeah, I gotcha.
Either way. And also too, for like you said, Marcus, for you work 12, 14, 16 hours.
Every day.
If my job was sitting at a computer entering numbers, I could probably do that for a 10-hour, 12-hour shift. But I'm moving like metal around all day, and like I'm not physically built for a job to like work that job 10 hours. I can do it for 8 hours, no problem. But like, I'm just not. I just can't do it.
Buddy, it's okay. You have. You're a 9 to 5 worker. That's what you are.
Yep.
There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that.
No,
at all.
Not at all.
But 75% of Americans are built that way.
Right.
See, I'm more of a 8:30 to like 3:45 worker.
That's a good one too, Nick.
And then a nice TikTok for 45 minutes at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Or what? I'm just being silly. Sometimes, on occasion, I actually do work later to finish something, but
sure.
Hey, I mean, I'm working right now.
You're working now?
Yeah, we're working now. This is
job number 3.
This is job number. Yeah, this is job
2.
number 3. Yeah, job number 2.
Sorry, I think I cut you off.
No, it's okay.
Well, let me ask you this. Going back to your flights. Going back to your flights before you move on.
Yeah.
Also, too, you not only did you fly back, and yes, you had Sunday to chill, and then worked into 10-hour overtime, but then there's the jet lag of going from the best coast to the west coast in that time difference.
Yeah, definitely.
Even just for 2 days, it definitely messed with me.
Oh, I can imagine.
So it's been a very interesting week. I'm pretty exhausted, but thoroughly enjoyed it. I've been listening to the audio that we recorded at PAX during the overtime hours that I have worked. So it's been very nice to that's been helping get me through it. Just those memories of PAX, and I can't wait to talk about them later. So when I finally come home from work, Monday night, we did the Modern Warfare 2 raid. Nick and I did it with Rayu.
Oh yeah,
Said, hey,
that was awesome.
We're finally back, and I'll let Nick talk about it a little bit later because it was his stream, but I had a great time. We did part 2. That means we're all caught up with the raids.
Oh yes.
Now we have the skills to carry Marcus through it.
Yes.
Hopefully, maybe. I don't know.
I think you would enjoy the second raid a lot better than the first.
Yeah.
You agree?
It's got jumping puzzles, Marcus.
The jumping puzzles are fun, way more fun than the water puzzles.
Yep.
And like the difficulty of the enemies, like the mechanics are more enjoyable to work through, I thought, in the second one.
It's a little bit more manageable. Even the gas part where you have to run through the gas rooms and do all of that stuff.
Yeah.
You can defend yourself relatively easy, and it's more a matter of timing than it is just being really good at killing AIs.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Right. That's what I thought too. It mattered more about your team cohesiveness, like your timing for the switches and like hey, we gotta do this, right? 3, 2, 1, go. Versus like, oh, I have to like cheese dick this mechanic of the gas in the room and go into the water to look up at the screen while I'm getting shot at and there's bomb drones and shit in the first one. Whereas like the second one, it's more like, oh, it requires team chemistry and it rewards that. It's not just like you go.
Yeah,
I smell what you're stepping in.
Fundamental introductory mechanics later on, so the jumping puzzles get progressively harder.
Yeah,
and then the switches and rooms and all that stuff also get progressively harder. So I definitely like episode 2 better than episode 1.
Agreed.
And then also, I've been getting a small group together of random friends that I've met to play this game called Prop Night. I've mentioned it quite a few times before. It's been on sale for $2.50, $5 pretty often. And I gifted it to a couple of people that I wanted to game with. And it's worked out really well. For those of you who don't know what Prop Night is, it's Dead by Daylight mixed with Prop Hunt from Gary's mod. So there's 4 survivors against 1 killer, and the 4 survivors run around and fix machines in order to escape, and obviously the killer tries to stop them. But the survivors can turn into props, and then they can try and hide from the killer, and then the different killers have different ways to identify what's a prop and what's not. They kind of all have their own mechanics, and as you get better at the map, then you kind of know what's a prop, what's not. You learn how to that wasn't there, or you hear the sounds that the props make as they move around. It's a lot of fun. Highly recommend. We've played some online games when we've been waiting for full custom lobbies because you only need 5 people. Right. And there's a lot of, because it's a relatively small community, there's a lot of tryhards and there's no ranked. So it makes it some games are really unfun. But if you're just playing a custom lobby with friends and everybody's, understands that we're there to have a good time, not win, then it leads to some really, really funny moments and definitely makes for a relaxing time outside of work.
Nice. That sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a blast. So, Marcus, how's your week been, man?
Before you start, what hat is that?
Free rides.
It's a free ride
nice.
hat.
Nice. Okay. I didn't know what the logo was.
Always repping. Anyway,
that's a sweet hat.
So
yeah,
we got the Destiny raid team together, and we started King's Fall working on it. I think we cleared the first 2 or 3 encounters. Pretty much a lot of the team is learning. I'm learning how to teach. It's fun. We didn't do it last week or this past Sunday because I was beat. We all got home from PAX. One of the members wasn't going to be there, and I did a thing. I did a thing that I said I never was going to do. I started to play Elden Ring. I'll
By the
get
way,
to
if any community member can tell me what episode that's from, where he says, "I will never play Elden Ring,"
I know.
I would highly appreciate it.
Well, I'll incentivize. If you find the spot in the podcast where I say I will never play Elden Ring again, and you message me, Atrax, or Nick, you win yourself a Working Class Nerds mug. Boom.
Oh yeah.
There you go.
The contest is set.
I need it for content reasons.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'll talk about that more in a minute. Honestly, I got myself a new Xbox controller. So when I was at PAX, I really wanted to buy a controller because I don't have my own. And I was just honestly like, I was looking, all of them are like $100 plus. And I really want
almost 200, most of them.
Yeah, some of them were 200. Like they were modded, and like I really wanted. I was going to buy the new Razer one, the V2, which was $130. But then I said to myself, "Look, I don't really use a controller, and this the standard issue Xbox. Well, this is like electric green or yellow. I don't know. Anyway, I went to the store with my daughter. We saw
like highlighter colored.
Yeah, it was $50. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm like, that's all I need. It's a brand new controller. It's just going to sit in my office. Like, whenever I need it, it's there. I don't need a quick trigger pull. I'm not a console player. Like, this controller is going to be fucking fine. I don't need to go spend, $120 on a controller. You know what I mean?
Or if you use that one and find out that you need a better controller, you can always get a better one, you know?
Right. Yeah, so one really cool thing I'll say to piggyback off what Atrax was saying earlier about flying, it was really a surreal feeling when I texted him and said, "Yo, bitch ass, come outside. We're here." And he walks outside and you like give an embrace for the first time. Like, I've known Atrax for years, but like it's always through a Discord video call or it's never been in person. And like, honestly, I won't get into it, but like, we'll get into it later. But the first night of PAX was it was a fucking awesome night because it was just us three chilling.
Mm-hmm.
And
I was tired.
Nick and Atrax were so fucked up and so tired that they were fucking.
I wasn't that banged up. Well,
dude, we were chilling.
I was a little squinty, I guess, but
yeah. But anyway,
I was vibing.
So the last thing I want to just talk about Elden Ring is, so when we were at PAX, we were walking around the Intel booth and Elden Ring was there, and Atrax was like, "Marcus, it's your time."
Just like loaded on one of their pre-built PCs.
Right. Marcus, just play it. There's no, like, just play it. And I was like, okay, no problem. I'll play it. So I played it, and there was this troll. And I didn't know it was a troll. It's just I thought it was a boss. But it wasn't a boss. And
regular
like, I've never played a game like this. I'm like, what are the controls? Blah, 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 blah. And I got, like, I hit it twice, and I rolled out of the way, which was fine. And then it's like stuck his leg out of nowhere and stopped me. It was the most unfair shit ever. And little did I know Atrax was fucking recording it. So like, it's there in infamy. He made a YouTube short out of it. And people, people's comments in YouTube were just funny. Like, get good, scrub. Yeah. This is a skill issue. This isn't.
Yeah. This game is totally fair. It's just a skill issue.
Yes. And I was like, and I was just responding with them. Oh, one of them said, clearly this guy has only played Skyrim. Yeah. And like, I'm like, I never played that game either, but it was really fun. So what that did to me, to be honest, is that opened up something like in my head. Like, okay. I was like, I enjoyed it. And I was like, and then I played, we'll talk about that. But I played so many games, but like Elden Ring did something to me. Like, I need to play this game because like, I don't like failing.
Yeah, so it was like a challenge. It's like,
Yes.
fuck you, I
I'm like-
am gonna do well in this.
He's never been so demolished by a game before.
Well, I have been demolished. It's called Nightmare Rating, but the difference is Elden Ring is like Nightmare Rating solo. You have to be the tank, the healer, and the DPS.
Well, and also the whole game is Nightmare Rating.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The whole game.
Yeah.
So we have 625 views on my Elden Ring debacle. But anyway, really, truly, it was awesome. It was awesome to hang out with Nick as well. Like, forget about Atrax for a second. Like, it was awesome to hang out with Atrax, but like, just me and Nick just chilling too. Like, cruising together there, like chatting. Fuck, I'm tired. Let's go to Starbucks. Like, it was just a great weekend.
Yeah.
And when I got married, somebody gave me advice. And they said at some point, whenever you do something awesome, you need to stand back and take a snapshot of that moment in your life because you'll never forget that.
Yeah.
And I did that in our wedding.
That's really good advice.
But there was a moment, and it wasn't actually for me. I took a picture of Atrax standing in front on this like causeway inside the convention center where he's like looking down on everything, and all you see is his back. But that moment will go down in infamy for me, just as a moment in time that like that's with me forever, because at that moment you realize like, hey, I'm at the top of my game.
That moment for me as well, Marcus. I remember right before there, it was it Thursday or Friday? I think it was Friday. It was Friday, and it had closed maybe 15 minutes prior. The expo hall floor had closed, but the outside was still open, and they had all sorts of stuff going on.
Yeah.
And I think it was my last day, so I knew that it was pretty much over, except for what was going on that evening. And I walked by, and I just kind of saw through one of the windows the empty expo hall floor, and I wanted to I walked through that causeway, and I looked around, and it was so quiet, but at that moment, I was so happy to be there, and I was filled with I was just filled with emotion. I was happy. I was kind of sad that I couldn't go back down there and, find out stuff that I hadn't, or even revisit stuff that I had. And I, like Marcus said, top of your game. This was my first big gaming convention ever. And I got to go as media, and we'll talk more about all the awesome games we played and all the awesome people that we met with. And all of that came to at that moment as well. And so, yeah, I agree with you, Marcus. That's a moment that I'll remember forever too. Just looking over all those games and that empty expo hall floor, how big it was. That was something.
That's great advice for lots of events. I remember pretty consciously doing that a bunch when I went to that Vince Wilfork Hall of Fame shindig with my dad. It was just like, recognize this is a really crazy moment, like a once in a lifetime type of thing. Like, take it in, like be aware, be in the moment and conscious of that, and really make an effort to take it in.
Yeah.
That way you're not trying to like recall stuff through memories. It's like, I don't know, it solidifies it a lot better for you. But
anyway, Nick, what have you been up to?
Well, I don't know how different I sound, but I got a brand spanking new microphone. A bit of an upgrade, if you will.
You do sound good.
This is the Audio-Technica AT2040, which is
upgrade.
Not their tip top, but they're like one down from the tip top for podcasts and stuff.
It's top tier.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
It's way better. What the sweet things for me? So I used Audio-Technica before. Marcus and I had gotten our boom arms and microphones from them like 4 years ago or something. I think, was it the second PAX we went to? I think it was the second PAX we went to. And I got a new microphone and a boom arm. And this boom arm is so much better than the old one. Like, I can actually just set it and forget it. It doesn't like droop over time. Like,
Dude, it's not a
that's-
$12 boom arm.
Yeah, it was like I don't know, I think $60 or $70, I think.
Right.
It was supposed to be.
It's a
more,
real
it was on
boom
sale.
arm.
Yeah, this is a real boom arm. And then, the microphone was like 20 or 30% off. Like if you bought anything from the Audio Technica booth at the event, it was like 20 or 30% off. So that was sweet. But what's nice is I connected the two XLR cables that I have here. I didn't realize you could do that with them until I started messing with it. And I tucked it into the boom arm nicely and have it running under my desk. So now like the cables are totally out of the way. It's really nice.
Well, it's because too now it's like dedicated. Like this is your mic, whether you're streaming or you're podcasting or anything you're doing on your computer. Like even if you had to do a Zoom meeting, you could use that microphone. It would be completely fine.
Yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I use this for like the video calls for therapy and stuff like that too. Same deal.
Right.
All the above. It's sweet. I think it's way better. Another good thing is like I don't have to be like the other microphone. I have to be like literally my mouth touching it for it to like sound good and everything. But with this one, I can be like a fist away, so I don't have to be like all up on it all the time.
On top of it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot nicer. Right? It gives me more like flexibility. So it's
For
out
sure.
of my way. I don't have to adjust it. There's no cords in the way. And I
Right.
don't have to be as close to it. Plus it sounds better. It's like just win.
Yeah.
Like A-Track said, we did the Call of Duty raid, the second one, part 2. I don't forget, chapter 2, whatever it's called. The 2.0. And that was awesome. I mean, stuff we already said. A-Trax and Ryu definitely carried me. And through certain points, it was a lot of like, come on, Nick, we got to go over here. Especially in the jumping puzzles, like, all right, why don't you go first? Because that's the easiest spot.
Yeah. Or in the middle.
Or in the middle. Yeah, I think later
First,
we need. I need
first
to go
or
to
in the middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Quickly. Okay. All right. It's the middle fan, Nick. I know that you could just look back. I'm getting
didn't-
shot in the back, but it's okay. Here, middle fan.
Yeah,
Good times.
it was great.
It was
We
practice for Marcus.
Yeah, we did it. Yeah, now I'm better. You know.
Oh yeah.
By the end, I sucked less, and it was wicked fun. I enjoyed that one a lot. I don't know if you recall from a while ago, probably a month ago and changed now. I had like a car whole
Debacle.
conundrum debacle.
Oh yeah, when we got broke down on the side of the road, and the one time your car breaks down, the one person you would be calling to pick you up is with you.
In the car. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So it's finally settled. So that whole situation. So I got a new car, but I didn't really get a new car. I ended up buying my dad's car from him, which is like for whatever he owed on it, which is nice. So now I have like a nicer car with like, you know, super junker prices for car payments, which is nice.
Yeah.
So that's sweet. And my dad, I found out this week he's getting a car too. So he was gonna buy a new car anyways, but he's gonna kind of wait till the fall. So he ended up giving me his car. Well, I bought it, you know, from took over the loan essentially. And then
No, you bought the car from him. You went to the bank, you got a loan. You bought the car from him.
Yeah, I did.
You didn't
Yeah.
take over the loan payments. You bought
that's
the
true.
car from him.
Yeah, I got my own loan.
Yeah, you're a big
And all
boy
that
now.
Yep, I got car payments and everything. I wear pull-ups, the whole nine.
Yay.
Yay.
I'm a big kid.
now.
The world of debt
Yep. Yeah. Just add it to the
pile.
pile. So that's that. But it's almost done. It was a lot of, it's funny, like my dad and I are so similar in a lot of ways, but we're also super different. Like I try to like keep up with certain things in my car and he just doesn't even come on his radar. Like Marcus is shaking his head. Like, what
Nick,
are you talking about?
Nick expected his dad to like put brand new brakes on it, new tires,
No, I
new
did
everything.
not.
Yeah, like his
No.
dad
I expected him to do nothing, but I expected him to like have kept up the car just as he was using it himself. Like it needed new wipers. Well, they were horrible. The wipers were terrible. Like
That's just
front and
lazy.
rear. That's what I'm
man.
saying. It's
that's,
like laziness.
That's where I'm at. My wipers are so bad, but I'm just
But-
like,
It's so easy to just
they
swap.
work.
Not if they smudge. Forget. I'm a wiper. Like Marcus has a graphical obsession. Like my windshield needs to be clean. Like I'll
That's
get
fair.
the Windex. Let's go. So change the wipers. Needed an oil change. That's no big deal. But like he also had no clue they needed an oil change. he was like, "Oh yeah, I just got the oil done. Should be fine." I'm like, "Dude, it's been 6,000 miles since you got it." He's like, "Oh." I'm like, "Well, like, hello."
Yeah.
Like, it's
Doesn't
fine,
care.
I'll do it. But like, he just like totally. I'm
Well,
saying
your
this not
dad and
to-
me are
not-
your
not-
dad. Your dad and me are a lot alike. Like, I don't give a fuck about cars. You turn them on, and you drive them, and park them. Like, I
Right.
can give a fuck about my car.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, go
I
ahead.
check the oil like once every 2 months, and
Yeah.
just to make sure that there's plenty of it and it's not like black,
Yeah.
filthy.
I mean, to clarify, I'm not like bashing my dad because obviously I'm
Right.
super thankful for him, helping me with the car situation a lot. But I'm just like more highlighting the difference in like, I don't know, mental status
Lifestyle.
about
Yeah.
lifestyle stuff. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I'm like checking that stuff all the time, or like aware of it, I should say. And then like
Yeah, I get it.
the car also ends up in needing brakes and stuff, so I'm gonna take care of that too. But it was just funny to be like, really, you don't like keep up with this as much, because I do, or at least try to. But
Right.
so yeah, car situation settled. I actually own the car now. It's registered to me. All that fun stuff. So that was a whole debacle. Not debacle, but it's just a lot of paperwork, and you got to get the forms, and you forgot to have your dad sign once, and you got to go back to him and then go back to the RV the next day, and it's a whole thing. But anyways, that's it for me. Marcus, do we have any news?
Yeah, so Star Wars The Old Republic news. I know we haven't mentioned it a little bit, but it is huge, huge news. So they dropped this Tuesday. Kind of was a surprise. They'd let us know kind of last minute last week while we were at PAX.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Wednesday or Thursday last week, it was like, hey, new update coming. So what came in the update was the Galactic Seasons 4, the PvP Season 2. They changed some medals in PvP, a bunch of new cartel stuff, which is their cash shop. They did a ton of economy changes to basically make things more of a credit sink because the economy is really messed up in the game. But I actually have strong feelings about this. Like, when your economy, it's like real world, right? You either have the billionaires and you have the poor. Whenever somebody tries to do credit sinks or taxation, all it's doing is hurting the poor. It doesn't actually hurt the billionaires because they could give a fuck. They got billions. Right. You know what I mean?
They know how to make it instantly. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
So for me, I always say to myself, okay, how can you fix the economy in a game that's been out 10 years? Option A is you just do a server-wide wipe of money. Take everybody's credits and see you later. Be like, hey, we're resetting the economy. If you have a billion credits, we're giving you 10 million. If you have a 500 million credits, we're giving you 5 million. You know what I mean? And like, just convert it. A billion means 10 million. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same credit amount, but you're just reducing it. So things on the GTN, it just scales. That's my opinion.
I don't know I don't know that would actually help. Well, it might, because then it means like credits you get from doing in-game stuff
Means something.
Worth more. They have more buying power.
Yeah, you see an armor set that used to be 1 million credits on the GTN are now 1 billion credits. Now, if you're a new player, you can't buy anything. But if you scale everything back and give everybody, like say, hey, yes, you have 4 billion credits, but instead of 4 billion, you have 40 million.
Right.
Right? Yeah, you still have the most in the game and the economy's still going to be messed up. But now when you go to sell something, you're only selling it for 50,000 credits. And an average beginner player can get 50,000 credits.
Yeah, like that's easy. That's attainable. Yeah.
Right.
I'm not an economics person, so I don't actually know how this works.
Well,
but I will say that does sort of skew things to where like it's almost like you're the time in which you earned the credits, like the date, I guess, changes their value. So like that means new credits after the reset would be worth more than old credits, but you are kind of taking away credits for like the old quote unquote credits from people who have billions and billions. Mm-hmm. So you are technically devaluing them, even though it's even with the scaling. You know what I mean? And I don't know how to make that better.
But that's the only way to fix it. The only other option I would say is if they started a new server, but they're not going to do that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like the game is in a state like they can't create a new server because then all the servers that they have are going to be depopulated.
Yeah, that's probably true too.
You know what I mean? So I just think devaluing the currency is probably a better idea. Yeah. And if people get butthurt, you still have the most money in the game. Instead of seeing billions, you have millions.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like for me. Anyway, so that's it. They've released the Mech Shah Stronghold. So if you listen to our good friend Max, from the, Escape podcast with Seema, he's been talking about this stronghold for years, that he wants the Mech Shah stronghold. Mech Shah is basically on an asteroid, and the whole thing has like a ray shield around it in the open space part, and you just see rocks flying everywhere. It's a fucking cool sci-fi place. And they finally listened to him, like they called him and like discussed it, and they're giving him his dream stronghold. It's not really true, but that's it. They're giving you an opal Voptila mount, which is a pretty rare mount. It used to be you could only get it if you were a content creator and giving it away, but now they've opened it up to other things. So its rarity is going down, but it's still rare.
Yeah.
So there's two more things. The first one I'm really, really, really excited about. There's something called the Masters Datacron. And if we go in the Wayback Machine for when Nick started to play it, we wanted him to raid, but he really wanted to do the story.
Yeah.
So he bought himself a Masters Datacron.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
And
to jump to level, whatever, 60, I think it was at the
70.
Time.
Oh, maybe it was 60.
It was
I don't know,
60
or 70, but it didn't erase the story.
Right.
But Nick could raid, which was cool. So they're updating the Masters Datacron, or they did. And now you can do it and be max level of 80, which means you can raid with any character as soon as you use that, which is really a big deal for me because not all of my characters are level 80, and I don't really want to grind through all of the story to get my characters to level 80. I want to do the story once or twice and be done.
Right.
Yeah.
But now this has opened up the door for me to really purchase this Masters Datacron, go to level 80, and now I can raid with any tune I want right away.
Yeah, and you could just skip the grind, essentially.
Right, because I really do miss raiding in SWTOR, but it's turned me off that you had to be max level to raid, where it used to be level 50 to raid in certain raids, and you could level through raiding, which I really love to do.
Yeah.
The last thing. This is really, really, really big news for the game. They did a 64-bit client update. So what that means is they were running on a 32-bit server forever. So it's basically a graphical upgrade, and the game runs better. And that allows them to do better graphical changes later. And it's basically they're coming into 2023.
Yeah.
With that, it's a really big deal for the game to have that. I'm super excited for it. I am going to come back and stream it for a night because I need to finish the story, and I really want to see what the game looks like and how it flows and how it feels, because at the end of the day, it needed it bad, and they switched from a server-based model to Amazon Web Services, and it's in the cloud now. Okay. So the game runs better. So instead of having like dedicated physical servers, which I'm sure they still do.
Yeah.
But not like now they're using the cloud-based stuff, which essentially makes the game run better.
I don't fully grasp how that works, but
me neither.
If it makes the game work better, then awesome.
I am not a game engineer at all.
Yeah, I don't know how that works at all. I just forgot about Yep. Anyways, moving on.
Write it in the notes.
Yeah, I will. Well, no, I just remembered a guest that I want to have on who agreed to come on that I need to
Nice.
that would know how that stuff works and could explain it for us morons. But
Well, I
That
just say
sounds good
book
to
it.
me.
We have
Yeah.
a schedule.
I know I'll see him next weekend probably.
Yeah, so this is a really big update for SWTOR. I'm really happy with the dev team. I know it's not a lot of story stuff, but the stuff they did in this one is a good quality of life change
Yeah,
for all players.
and I feel like it's probably a lot of work for him too.
Yeah, the last thing is I'm still waiting for is they really need to make raiding free to play because you're paying a sub. You don't need to sub to play PvP, but you need to pay a sub to raid, which is kind of fucked up. You know what I mean?
You think the game should just go free to play then? Because what else would you get?
I don't think they can.
Well, but I'm just wondering what else you get in a sub other than raiding and like some cartel coins.
Well, nothing. There's
Okay.
really no benefit, but they can't get rid of the sub because at the end of the day, all the billionaires love having billions of credits, and the credit cap and all that stuff is there. But
Okay, gotcha.
if you're free to play or preferred, there's a limited amount of credits you can have on you, and that makes a
Okay.
difference now in a fucked up economy.
Right.
Do I think the game should be 100% free to play? Yes. The reason why I don't think they can is because I think the mouse overhead licensing fee has to be expensive.
Yeah,
Right.
You know what I mean? So, like, I don't have a clue, but my assumption is all the sub money goes to Disney,
Mm.
and they can't just get rid of it.
or at least like a big chunk of it or something.
I bet most of it,
Right.
dude. Think about Disney. Disney doesn't give a fuck about anybody except earning money.
Well, yeah,
You know what I mean? They just laid off 7,000 people because the board isn't making enough money. And I mean, when you say 7,000 people for a company that has millions of employees, it's nothing.
yeah. It was. I mean, I
That's
saw.
true.
I read that article. The CEO or the chief of that division that they laid off, it was 80 years old and like gonna retire anyways, essentially, or should have retired a little while ago. But it was Marvel Entertainment, which is like not anything to do with Marvel Studios actually making the content. It was just like
Right.
the merchandise section. And there's like, we can just roll that into like the other merchandise sections with the other Disney stuff. We don't need
Right.
a Marvel specific whole department. So
Yeah.
that's what they laid off. And I get it. That makes sense.
I guess
You're
that
trying
makes sense.
you're
Yeah.
trying to cut
consolidate.
costs. Like, I get that. Like, you're Disney. Like, that's probably one of the biggest merch companies in the world. So like,
Yeah.
if anybody knows how to sell merch, I think Disney does. I think they can roll in the Marvel content merch in with the rest of their merch. But anywho, I rest my case.
Yeah.
Right. So, the last
looking
thing, I'm just copy and pasting. The last thing I want to say is kind of off the cuff. So I heard a story, and I want to help people out that don't have a job.
Okay.
So if you don't have a job and you're looking for a job, I'm going to give you a foolproof way to get a job. Even if
Okay.
you were a bagger in a grocery store, you want to
Okay.
get yourself a pay raise, apply for a job and say you worked at Twitter. Because Twitter right now does not have an HR department, and you can say whatever fucking
I
job
saw
you
that.
wanted. Yeah, you can have any fucking job you want, and there's no HR department to check. So you can say, yeah, I was the fucking vice president. Well, probably not that, but like I was a project coordinator for the marketing department. There's no
Yep.
way to prove it that it's true or false. So if you're looking for a job, you're welcome. You work
Just
for
make-
Twitter.
You worked for Twitter. Exactly.
Yeah,
Blue
Twitter.
check mark.
Yep. Boom. You're welcome.
I remember hearing about people doing that with Circuit City after they closed.
Yeah.
Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
it was this and this at Circuit City, and there's no way to verify because there's the whole
It's
business
just
is
closed.
Right.
There's no HR
Yes.
department to call and be like, hey, did this person actually work here?
I
You know what
heard
mean?
this and I was like, I got to
That's
share this
funny.
with the community. So if you don't have a job, just lie through your teeth. I worked for Twitter. Fuck it. Get a job.
Post
Exactly.
some stuff on Twitter about how I don't know great Twitter is, and then you can be like, yeah, I
I
did
worked
some
for
advertising. Yeah,
Yeah.
advertising for Twitter.
Tuesday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern time, clan night. Join us. Even if you're not playing Destiny, just come join us. Nick came this week and just hung out and chatted with us all night while he was playing COD. Like, just come hang out for clan night. It's a great time, great people. We have a lot of fun, and it's super duper mellow. Yeah, it's fun. So
if all this sounds fun to you, go to aie-guild.org. Get our Discord information in the top right-hand corner of the website. Ask for a guild invite once you get in the Discord, and whether or not you play Star Wars: The Old Republic, Destiny 2, World of Warcraft, StarCraft? Is that the MMO? Whatever. Elder Scrolls Online.
You fucked this
Lord of the Rings
up.
Online.
Oh boy.
Yeah,
all
this
the above.
Is a butcher. Yeah, you butchered this.
PAX messed you up, man.
Yeah, dude. Like, hey, AIE. If you want to have fun and play games, we would love to have you. Nick has to pee. We got to turn the TV's volume down. We'll be right back. My God, what is taking him so goddamn long?
Nick, hurry up, man.
It's all that beer you're drinking. Come on, bro.
Bros before hoes, man. Get off Snapchat.
And we're back. So today we're recapping all of the craziness from our PAX East trip. All the games, oh my God, I didn't even put notes about tabletop games. All the tabletop games. It was awesome. Well, since I'm talking, I'll go first.
Yeah.
So right off the bat, I haven't really looked thoroughly at the working class questions yet, but I know some of them ask like, what's your favorite game? What's your favorite thing? Something like that. So we might get double coverage here. But first thing I want to talk about is the Peaky fucking Blinders. Okay.
Peaky Blinders.
That was, so they had a game there, a VR game. I should back up. First of all, I'm a giant fan of that show. I love that show. Watched it as it came out. It's a fantastic show. One of my favorite shows of all time. Then we get an email in the millions of emails we got being media. They're like, hey, this game is here. Come check it out. So I go, and it's a Peaky Blinders VR game called Peaky Blinders: The King's Ransom. And I had never played a VR game before. Like, not actually. I think I played
me neither.
I think in college somebody had like a Oculus Rift, and like it was like a roller coaster or something. And he just sat in a chair, and I looked around, like, oh, it's cool, and it looks like, graphics from like an N64 or something. So like I hadn't actually played real VR games. So this was on a Quest 2, I think, and like a newer one. And you play like a guy getting recruited by the Peaky Blinders gang. And if you haven't watched the show, go watch it 100%. But you play a character doing that, and like the immersion level is something that I've never experienced. Like, if you listen to the show, you've heard me talk about like some of my favorite games, and one of the biggest things that I enjoy about video games is the immersion factor. Like getting engrossed in the lore of a story, getting engrossed in some world that you actually feel like you are the character, or at least you're in that world. And put that game in VR where you're actually in Birmingham, England, like talking to Tommy Shelby, getting recruited, like, and then you get to look down and like pick stuff up with like the controllers, and you actually see your hands. And anybody that's like played VR consistently is like, yeah, that's VR, that's normal. But like, well, I got a double whammy of like, oh my God, VR's cool, at the same time of like, oh my God, Peaky Blinders. So like,
yeah,
it was really immersive, being like, oh, hey, here's a cigarette. And you like reach out, take the cigarette from him. Then you like have to hold it up while he lights it for you. And it's like, oh, here's some gin. Like you pour the gin, and like, oh, if you find a paper that you want to keep, like you have to put your hand over your shoulder to put it in your backpack. Or like you get a pistol. It's like, okay, you can't just like click a button to holster the pistol. You have to move your hand like to your chest/shoulder strap thingy for the holster for the pistol. Like, put the pistol away. It was just like, it was really immersive in a way that I've not experienced before. So I really enjoyed it. I don't think the game's out yet. I think we are in talks with their PR folks for some things, but stay tuned for those details. But
this weekend, I'm just going to tell everybody this weekend. Well, you're probably going to hear this. You're probably going to hear the day one recap of us sitting in a bar before this episode, anyways. We got
to talk about how we want to post that audio. Yeah.
Well, no, we're just going to post it once it's edited down. Just cut out some of those silences and post it. Like, we're just going to cut the audio, whether Atrax did it or me. We're just going to post it the way it is.
Okay.
and have it be raw. Just while we're chewing on stuff, not saying anything, just cut out
Yeah.
the shit.
Yeah.
Okay. So
Like,
for
I don't-
reference, what Marcus is referring to, we recorded. I don't even know how much time it is, but
It's like
a chunk
38
of
minutes.
time. Was it Thursday night? I think
Thursday night.
Thursday night. So first night at PAX, we were just sitting in the bar of our hotel's like restaurant and just having a drink, and we ordered food while we were sitting there. And we just recorded our conversation.
We went, and I'm going to break it down for you guys. So, like Atrax said, he flew in. We went to PAX all day. When we got back to the
Thursday.
hotel, like we had invitations to all these after parties, everything, and
Yeah.
we were going to go. And then Atrax and Nick like sat down and they were like, "Oh, I'm just chilling. I'm tired." And
I was so
Atrax,
tired.
yeah, Nick was like a little bitch. He was so tired.
Yeah,
And
it was uncharacteristic. I would say.
But it was a long day, whatever.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I don't judge anybody by being tired, because when you're tired, you're tired. And then Atrax flew in, and he, like, I know for a fact that, like, if you don't sleep in your time change, like at normal nighttime, you're going to be tired, because you're
Yeah.
going to kind of like reset your body, because you're going to be so exhausted by then. So we ended up shooting the shit fucking until, I don't know, midnight, just
Yeah,
in the
the
hotel
latest.
room. Yeah, the
Yeah.
latest. Like midnight, just hanging out, the three of us. Like, it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I think
And
we were in
just-
the hotel room by like 9ish, maybe
Yeah.
9 or 9:30.
Somewhere
They're
in
just, like,
there,
shot
yeah.
the
I think
shit.
we were, no, dude, we were in there before that.
Like 8:30. Yeah, because we finished PAX, came back.
Oh, yeah, because then we went to the hotel. Yeah, it would have to be
Hotel,
like
bar, so it's
8:39. Yeah.
8:39ish.
Yeah. Because we left after the show floor closed, because we all just wanted to eat and chill.
Yeah,
But, like, it was such a good time just hanging out, the three of us, because, like, it's never been done before. Like, we do
Right.
it here, but it's different. You know what I mean?
yeah, in
And-
person. Atrax
Right, in-
gets all of the loudness.
Yeah.
Dude, you know,
And
On
we
this
asked
show-
Marcus asked Atrax, like, "Hey, what was your biggest, like, the most surprising thing, like coming to the East Coast and stuff?" And then this was his answer.
yeah. I've realized that the problem that Marcus and Nick have with microphones is not because they consistently use poor microphones, but because both of them are so loud. But they're just they're equipped with strong vocal cords. It's true, but like these poor microphones just clipping all the time. Because Marcus will hold his phone right up next to his mouth and be like screaming into it, at least from my perspective. And I know he's probably just talking normal, but
I am talking
volume,
normal.
the volume is just so loud. That's it. That's all I've got.
But anyway,
it's just
We're loud
So-
people.
yeah, we are loud people.
That's it.
So and then when we were chilling, Nick and Atrax were fucking smoking weed like it was fucking Christmas. It was 420, right?
Yep.
And they
yeah,
got-
we imbibed in some candy.
Yeah, it was great.
Yes.
And then so we finished that, and everybody passes out, and it's like I was super refreshed the next day.
I felt way better Friday.
Yeah,
Like
Yeah,
night
me
and day
too.
better Friday.
Mhm.
right. And we woke up, had a nice little breakfast, nothing crazy, but like power up. And then we went to the thing. Like Friday was like awesome. Well, Thursday was awesome too.
Different
and then-
flavor of awesome Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Friday, Joey Feta came out.
Yep.
And so the
Friend
four
of
of
the show,
us.
Joey Feta, aka Frozen Cheddar, aka Cheddar
Fan club.
_ painting.
Yeah, fan club manager.
Yep.
Fan club manager. Yep. So we all hung out, went to PAX, hung out basically together all day long. Feta spent like $6,000 on board games.
He did. I
Like,
think we could have had Joey on this week, probably.
oh
to
my
talk
God.
about that.
All right.
Oh,
Wait, no.
yeah.
I'm going to just talk about, all right. So everybody knows these two assholes on the podcast. Yes. Podcast
Yes.
2 and podcast 3. Podcast host 2 and 3
2 and 3,
over here,
yeah.
right here in the show. I wanted to get beer. Okay. And okay. And they're like,
this is
oh,
Thursday. This is
yeah,
Thursday.
this is Thursday. And they're like, oh, all right, let's go. And I was like, hey, we're going for a walk. They're like, all right, dude, we're not even across the street. And they're like, dude, I'm sick of walking. Like, why is this so fucking far away? And I was like, guys, it's right up the road. It's like over the bridge. It's not far. Dude, I'm fucking tired. Why are we walking so fucking far to get beer? Like, this is, dude, we've been walking for 45 minutes. I was like, dude, we've been walking for 3 fucking minutes. Like, what is happening right now?
No, I started off with like, dude, we were walking for 10 minutes and it was 2 minutes. And then like 5 minutes. Like, dude, it's been like a half hour. Where are we going?
Yeah.
Right.
And, then
And
it's
I'm
like
like, dude, we're
7
walking.
minutes. And I'm like, we've been walking for 45 minutes. And then I think Atrax goes, what are we walking to Maine?
Yeah. Well, because Marcus sold it as like, dude, it's so close. It's like, it's just around the corner. Seriously, it's just down the road, just around the corner. It's fine. And so
And it was like a 12-minute walk.
right. As soon as it wasn't just across the street, Nick and I started throwing a fuss about it.
Yeah. And like, obviously we were being obnoxious on purpose. And it was really funny.
Oh, hilarious.
But yeah, it was great. Marcus is like the Tasmanian devil. Or just like exactly.
So, anyway.
What's that cowboy's name from the Looney Tunes?
Yosemite Sam?
You just Yosemite Sam.
yeah.
Like, I can't do the impression, but you get the gist.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we get back and it was just a great time. So then Friday, we go to PAX. We're fucking meeting with people, and I will say the coolest part about PAX with media badges is when you go up to a booth and start playing a game.
Oh yeah, you get
They're
treated
like
way
the
different.
developers are like, "Oh, hey, how's it going? Great, how are you?" And then if you
Like,
like
normally
move your
the-
arm or like they notice the yellow media badge, they completely change their tune and like, anything you need? Can I help you with anything?
Oh,
Is there anything like
let me explain this about like here's how it works. Here's the idea. Here's the concept. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I would say that was probably the best part for me. Is like you actually got to talk to people about the games, and they were like on point. They
Yeah.
were being precise because it's like they already had their script in their head of what to say. One game we didn't get to play, I forget what the hell the name of the game was.
Feudal Lands.
Feudal Lands, which was a
Yeah.
survival MMO, and it was one of the most popular indie games to be demoed there.
Yeah.
And their fucking build broke, and then they couldn't update the game because the internet was so slow in their hotel,
Yeah.
which I can attest to that.
Yeah. We
Yeah.
had like upgraded quote unquote Wi-Fi, and it was still dog shit. It was
It
like
was dog shit.
5 meg down or whatever.
Well, it was hotel Wi-Fi.
yeah, like
I
hotel
mean,
Wi-Fi
what do you
is
expect?
always bad.
It kind of worked. But
Um,
I will say the Feudal Lands, I got a free shirt from them. So,
yeah, you did.
you know, and it's green. I love green. So there we go. I'll take it.
Nice.
And just some more fun stuff for me, like as well. I'm not even mentioning the games because you two are going to mention all the games. Like I got Julia and Ryan, Mandalorian and Grogu. What are those things called? Like the Yoshi, like those like foam chairs. I
Foam
don't know.
chairs.
Like they're
Oh,
chairs are like
yeah.
back
Squishy.
seats.
I remember those. Oh, what were they called? Yeah, it was like Yoshi or Yashi or
Well, whatever.
Oh,
The
boy.
kids loved it.
Yeah.
I saw some really cool shit, everybody. They have always some cool stuff. One thing that I didn't expect to do when I was at PAX, but I did it and I owned it, was they had a bunch of food trucks there, and they had a waffle food truck,
Oh my
And-
god.
and I took it
Yeah.
down. Like, I was like, okay, I'm going to eat the meme.
This
and
was
then
Thursday.
Yes, it's Thursday. And as soon as I do, you guys fucking know it. Here comes Atrax with his phone out, takes pictures of me eating the fucking waffle. And then
Oh,
he
me too,
takes
yeah.
another picture of me with like the fucking waffle falling out of my mouth. Like the most unappealing pictures ever. And he's like, oh, these are great.
I took a great photo of you, okay?
I don't
That's
remember
like,
that
I know you're married, obviously, but like, that's like dating profile worthy. You were like smiling. It's like great, like quarters framing. I forget what you call it, where it's like not straight on, not on the side, but like
Yeah.
that was money in the bank. Atrax's photography skills, I cannot speak for.
My picture would be like for an ad for that waffle place.
Right.
Because Marcus was like, he had it in his hand, also in his mouth, and he was like looking down at it, super happy and enjoying his waffle. What was it like? What was it?
It was Nutella and bananas.
Oh, that
and like
sounds
those
so good.
the waffles were like, I don't know if they put maple syrup on the waffle machine or something,
No.
but like the maple syrup was like
They put it in the batter.
caked. Yeah, it's in the batter or something because like the outside of the waffle where it was like direct contact with heat had like the caramelized like sugar kind of texture and like it was extra mapley. So you didn't need to put like other syrup on there, so that when you had your concoction, it was like already syrupy. But
And I
like,
did
I was gonna say I like after seeing Marcus get it. I think I got some empanadas first for my actual lunch, and then
and he got a fucking stain on my Destiny Raid jacket.
that'll come out. It's just empanada juice.
Also, if you want to see the waffle pictures, it's in the Discord under PAX East 2023 pictures. Scroll all the way up. It's literally the first picture.
I have to post. I got to post all my pictures because there's so many.
Well, do it after the show. But I got a waffle sandwich, they called it, which was a scoop of vanilla ice cream between the two mapley waffles, and that was unbelievable. That was so much better than I was expecting. I wanted to do it again Friday, but I didn't. I refrained.
I regret not getting a waffle from that place. I really should have.
I agree.
Kind of like you regret not getting a sweatshirt.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah.
So Friday we're walking out of there, and we walk by the empty like merch stand for PAX. Like there's a big merch.
We
It's like
walked by
10:30 at night.
multiple empty merch stands at PAX. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
well,
empty.
no,
hardly
before that,
anyone
Marcus. It was like when we were actually leaving, it was like there was still staff selling merch. So
yeah,
when we first left, and Atrix like, I should buy something, and we were like, well, now's the time to do it. And he's like, it's okay, I'll do it tomorrow. Then sure enough, we go out that night and we're like hungover, and then we didn't even go to PAX on Saturday because we weren't really gonna anyway. We were just gonna like stop in and leave essentially.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I was
so
like, I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, so he was like, if I do it, I'll do it tomorrow. And then we didn't go tomorrow because we ended up having to drop Atrax off at the airport by the time we got ourselves together. But
yeah, it was like that night I was walking out and I was like, $70 for a hoodie. I want to sleep on it. I don't know if I want to spend $70 for a hoodie. Like, man. And then it wasn't until I was sitting in the airport waiting for my plane that I thought, yep, should have spent the $70 right then. Should have just gone,
just do it.
Spent it, and taken the hoodie because I didn't buy anything. I think at PAX, which is one of my regrets of PAX is not buying anything.
I get you. I got the mic, I think.
Yeah.
And food.
Right.
Did I buy anything else? I don't think I bought anything else.
I don't even know. Honestly, I don't even know what I bought.
Joey Feta bought like 6 or 7 board games and then a mystery box that had 5 more board games in it, and like paintbrushes for painting minis, and like I don't think he got dice, but we looked at a lot of dice, and then like he spent like $500 or something. I think.
I don't know what I bought, dude.
We bought like a lot of food into everything, obviously, because
Yeah, but I don't think I bought anything for me.
Yeah,
for
it's
yourself.
Like I really wanted to
you bought yourself. You bought the stuff for your kids, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, you got it. They're sleeping with them now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they're super stoked about it.
Hell yeah. But to recap the whole trip, like the just spending time, not the games, is like it was just awesome to be 3 of us, and everywhere we went, like we were able to talk to developers, we were able to hang out. They were so nice. So during the pre-PAX stuff in the emails, we got an email from Riot Games about this game called Mag Seeker. I'm going to build it up.
Mage Seeker.
Sorry, whatever. So
I'm going to build it up. Immediately screws up the next word out of his mouth.
That's the fucking what I do.
The title
of the game. I'm going to hype this game up. Let me call it some magician or some shit. I don't know.
Anyway, it's a top-down ARPG style game.
Yep.
If you guys know Atrax, he has a super hard-on all the time for Riot Games. Anything that Riot does, Atrax.
True.
Yes, it is.
Oh, it's Valve. Valve is where he has the boner town.
Well, that's for CSGO too. But anyway,
yeah,
that's what I mean.
Not Valorant.
well, not
Sorry,
Valorant,
Riot.
but okay, League of Legends. Sorry.
Yeah.
Anyway, it doesn't matter. We got invited to we got an interview with a private demo, but it ended up being in our own hotel.
Yeah, like not in the expo hall. It was they had rented out like a conference room
Right.
in our hotel.
And which was
Yeah.
cool because it was our hotel. So like we got to go to our hotel, drop off our shit, go down to the third floor. And when we walked into this, it was like snacks and drinks. And they were like, "Oh, hi, you guys must be working class nerds. We have a private booth waiting for you."
Yeah, and you walked in. There was like curtained off, like there
Yes,
literally
Yeah.
like,
was-
and there was
with,
a couch.
like a
there was
yeah.
there was a fucking couch.
There was a table with a chair and like a computer set up to play the game, and then
Yeah.
a couch, and then a couple folding chairs too. So like,
And then two of the developers who work on the game sat with us the entire time talking to us.
yeah,
Yep.
It was fucking amazing. And then Atrax is a gamer, okay? Like I play games, not like
Marcus-
Atrax plays
Marcus and I are working class nerds. Atrax is a gamer.
is a
okay?
working class gamer.
Yeah, exactly.
Like-
like there's levels to this.
Yeah, like if we need Atrax to if we need to look good in any
At,
of the Atrax, just go play. Because if I play, it'll be an embarrassment because I'm good at video games once I learn them. But
Yeah.
Atrax just sits there and it works with his brain. So anyway, Atrax goes through this whole entire fucking demo, beats the
Gets to the-
final boss in the first try, doesn't die.
Not at all.
And they were
Well, I died a lot before I got to the boss.
Yes,
but
you
I
did.
did beat
Yeah.
the boss first try.
yeah, you
And
beat it
the-
first try
even
without dying.
Even the developers were like, there's a tricky mechanic. Should I spoil it? I guess I can talk
Yeah.
about it, right? So
Yeah.
in the boss in the demo anyways, which they didn't, the format was it's like, okay, we're kind of dropping you in the middle of a mission here. You already have some powers, and then that was the first section. The second section's like, okay, this is later in the game. You have even more powers, and we're dropping you in the middle of another mission. So it's not like it's the first boss of the game. It's later, but you go in and you're like, your mission is to break somebody out of jail essentially, and
Yeah.
this one mage comes up to you and is like, it's a mage. That was a mage, right? The boss character, I think, or no, it was a mage seeker.
I
It was
don't
some-
remember, but it
some-
was.
I forget the lore. It was some magical
Yeah.
person with a staff.
Mhm.
And it's like, hey, you're not going to get this person out of there. And the person you have to rescue is I guess also magical, but on your side. And so but apparently the magician guarding the place, that was the actual boss, was so powerful you couldn't hit them. They were invincible the whole time. So but you have to figure that out. And what you actually have to do is attack the gate that's holding the prisoner back. And that's the boss's health. And then once the prisoner gets out, you defeat the boss. But it doesn't tell you that explicitly.
Right.
So
And
Atrax figured it out fast.
Yeah, there's also a health bar at the bottom of the screen. So you think, okay, well, I'm attacking. You start off at the beginning of the boss fight, cutscene, and then, okay, now the boss fight begins. And you start attacking, and it's like, invincible. And the gameplay idea is that you play as, for all the League of Legends nerds out there, you play as Silas, who is one of the characters in League of Legends. And Silas, his whole idea is that he steals the ultimates of others. That's what he does in the game, in League of Legends. Well, in this game, in the Mage Seeker, you can steal the abilities of your enemies,
Right.
and then you use them to defeat the other enemies. So, for example, you steal the firebolt from the fire guy and you hurl a firebolt at the ice guy because he's weak
Fireball.
to fire. And then you take the ice shard from the ice guy and you throw it at the fire guy. And, there's layers upon that, but that's the basic concept. And so your initial thought is, okay, well, I need to then steal the right thing from an enemy and hurl it at the boss, and then it'll hurt the boss. But because there's a health bar. But like Nick explained, that's not necessarily the case. You need to destroy the gate because the boss is actually too powerful, and you need your buddy to, I forget who it was, but you need the person that you're rescuing
Yeah.
to help you defeat the actual boss. And then, of course, then it's a cutscene.
Right. But the developers were just like, oh, wow, I can't believe you figured that out so fast. Nobody ever figures that out that fast.
Right.
To Atrax.
And hence Atrax is the gamer. And it instantly gives Nick and me clout. Like, okay, working class nerds are gamers. And we were just like, yep. Yeah, we are.
Sure are.
Yep, sure are. Yep. We could have done that.
Yep.
Are you guys all good at that good at games? Oh, yeah. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Taught him everything he knows.
Sure. Yeah, right.
Like me and Mark, like if you guys ever watched Dragon Ball Z, like me and Marcus were like Hercule after the Cell Saga. Like, oh yeah, I killed him. We sure did. Definitely defeat. I'm the strongest ever.
Ah, yes, we did it. Yes.
We did it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So long story short, that was amazing. And then
that was probably the. Would you say that was probably like the bougiest or like most like, ooh, we got exclusive shit part? That,
Yeah.
like,
well, that wasn't
game?
not for me, but for you got for Atrax for sure.
So I would say that was the most elite that I felt.
Yeah, like that was the most like the biggest like VIP moment. I felt.
Right. And I was like, whoa, what? Like that was the moment that I really felt like super exclusive media. That was the moment I really felt it.
Right.
For me, the most I wouldn't say bougiest, but the most like the perfect medium was the Behemoth booth.
Yeah.
Where we had our own like little area, but because it was kind of small, it felt like we were just taking up all their back room space. You know, like we all piled
break it
in
down.
there.
Let everybody know.
No,
Game. Well, it was a
Explain
game.
the setup.
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, Atrax.
So, well, okay. I was doing something else. I forget what I was playing, but I was doing something else, and Marcus and Nick
Probably
texted me,
DDR.
"Hey, I don't
my
think I
God.
was doing that."
that
I'll
I'll
circle
have to
back.
talk about that. We
I'll circle
definitely
back.
will circle back. We're going to do that now before Behemoth. Well, you
we
you
walked
should
by
do
this
Behemoth.
fucking booth.
The Intel booth.
It was in the Intel booth.
Intel
It was
booth.
in the
And there
Intel
was a
booth.
DDR pad, and I was like, Atrax. And he's like, okay, I'll do it. So Atrax, we were waiting, and these people that were on it were like,
Oh.
Wait,
tap,
can I get-
tap,
can-
tap,
can I-
tap. Yeah.
Can I give like the quick backstory?
Yeah.
The double backstory, sidebar upon sidebar. Like
Yeah.
Atrax can explain this better, but Atrax played the shit out of DDR back in the day. He's like an expert, like really good at DDR. I think you said you played like the developers of the game lived near you, or one of the Dance Machine games lived near you.
Yeah.
So you'd go to the arcade all the time, play with them, super into it, right?
So I played a version of Dance Dance Revolution. Well, I guess it's not really a version. Dance Dance Revolution is made by Konami, and
Yep.
that's the game. That's the rhythm game, traditional up, left, down, right. The one that I played the most as a kid was called Pump It Up, which was made by On DeMiro. And that's the diagonals, the middle, and the back, or the front diagonals, the middle, and the back diagonals. So it's actually
Yeah.
5 instead of 4.
Yeah.
But same concept, same idea. And some of the people that worked on Pump It Up worked on Dance Dance Revolution and In the Groove. And yeah, that's how I know them. So it's like I have a really strong dance gaming root.
Background, yeah.
Yeah, background.
Definitely. So, of
I would
course-
qualify myself as a professional. Yeah.
Yeah, I 100% agree. So Marcus and I see this DDR setup, and Marcus, how were the people dancing that were on it when we first saw it?
Oh, like tap, tap, tap. Like, and I'm like, all right, like this is not too bad. And then Atrax gets on this fucking thing. Okay. And then he starts going through the menu, and Nick's like, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, I gotta change some things.
He changes like the speed modifier.
The speed
like-
modifier and and he went to like mega extreme difficulty.
And then like cranked up the BPMs of like this 170 BPM song.
It was
He's
like 170. We're going 300. And dude, Atrax starts doing it, and it's like starts off like tap, 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 tap. All of a sudden, it's like, and he's like fucking running, holding on to this bar in place. And then he stops for a second. He's like, I'm out of shape. And he's going.
It was like anime levels of foot speed. It was just like a cloud, like
Yes.
blurring of feet underneath Atrax.
And
it was ridiculous.
And then it was
and this
so
is
funny.
Thursday.
Yeah.
Yes.
And no,
Thursday,
this is
just fresh off the plane and everything.
We
It's
just
like one of the
played
first
Dead
things we
Island.
saw. Yeah.
In
Played Dead Island.
sweatpants.
Right.
Yeah.
Like had to tighten his sweatpants for this. The whole deal.
So oh my God. So we finish it. Atrax gets off the pad and just sits down. It's like a tired puppy. As soon as the puppy's done walking, he just sits. So he sits, he's drinking his water like he's dead to the world. And we're like, well, we're going to move on a little bit. He's like, all right, I'll move. He walked like 15 feet and collapsed at the pole. It's like, you guys go do you. I'm chilling here for a bit.
Yeah, that's just before the waffle. They're like, oh, we're pretty hungry. I think and I was like, all right, cool. You guys can go walk. I had my 30-pound backpack with my laptop in it and everything.
Oh yeah, because we couldn't check into our hotel yet. So, and you wanted a backpack to walk around with, so you still had it loaded with your laptop and all your stuff
and
that you were
everything,
traveling
and my
with.
Switch, and yeah,
Right. So you're just lugging around this giant backpack. Get off the plane, play Dead Island 2, which we'll talk about after, and then immediately just like go like full ham on VDR
after not playing since like pre-COVID.
Right.
I likened it to, if anybody's seen that episode of Family Guy where Peter gets on I think it's the Boston Red Sox, he can play for a day, and then he hits the ball and he's trying to run and it zooms in on his body and they're like, what the hell is he trying to do? He's trying to run as fast as possible. Doesn't he know that all we've got is Alfredo in here? He can't possibly do that. I'm calling a full body shutdown. He just like pulls the switch. That was me with like internally like, what is he doing? He's trying to play like the craziest song he knows how to play. Just right off the bat, no warm up, no nothing after years. Shut down. Goom. And then I just collapsed.
Yeah. It was funny.
But I did return
like,
and redeem myself later.
Oh yeah, you rallied. You just needed some time. That's all.
Yeah, Friday. I rallied Friday. So, shortly after that, I walked off and played some games, and then I'm gonna loop back to this. And I get a text.
Wait, what are you gonna do?
Loop back to Behemoth.
Back on the ranch.
Yes, that was perfect. Back at the ranch.
Yep.
I get a text from Marcus and Nick. Hey, yo, it's Behemoth time. So I started walking around looking for the booth, and I finally found it. And I stood outside the front of the booth, just kind of looking around. And I'm like, well, they said that they're here, but I don't see them. So I texted, hey, what's going on? Oh, no, we're in the back of the booth. And I was like, what? And so then I see Marcus walk out from behind the back
like the screen.
This like black foldable cloth screen. And yo, we're in the back. We're in the press room, or the little press spot for Behemoth.
It was like their storage for like the devs had like their snacks and their backpacks and like
and
like
all their
various
stuff.
Behemoth merch.
Yeah, all the cool
above.
stuff.
Yeah, and then they had a I just watched that episode recently. It's fucking awesome. But I've been getting back into Archer. But they had like a little table and one chair set up, maybe two, but one at the table to play with like a little monitor. So that was like their private demo spot for media.
Which
like,
it was definitely like
cramped and stuff, but like
but like who cares? You're like, dude, sitting down and being able to game at a video game convention is like top tier, as Atrax would say it.
Yeah.
So I'll explain.
It was very homey.
Yeah. So when all of these games started offering interviews, everybody kind of got excited
before the conference and like via email is what we're talking about.
Yeah. And everybody was getting excited about their games, and I didn't have any. And then I saw the Behemoth. So Behemoth made Castle Crashers years ago. Castle Crashers is a side-scrolling 4-person action, just
like beat 'em up.
Yeah, beat 'em up fucking mayhem game. It is one of my favorite like friend games to play because you can just play it and you're all on a screen and you don't even pay attention to what you're doing. You're just mutilating everything in the path. And I was so excited. Like I'm forbidden from emailing because my grammar is terrible in an email.
Yeah,
But-
like I don't understand how your speaking doesn't translate to typing.
Well,
I don't know.
I can understand a rough draft, but the fact that you don't like go back and read it, you just send it off.
A lot
that's
of times,
the thing.
Atrax, it's a time thing, but I
Okay.
really don't do
That's
it.
fair.
But it doesn't matter. We're not the grammar police right now. So, but I was just exactly. But I emailed them right away as soon as they said that they had availability. Like I'm like, oh my god. Like, I love Behemoth. I love these games. Like, when this game comes out, we'll be playing. Us three will be playing it. Maybe we'll even drag Feta with us. And
Oh, yeah, he'd be game.
yeah, for sure. And so I got the appointment. And so this, out of all of the demos, was like my baby. Like, I was super excited.
Yeah, you
And-
booked it. It's
Right.
your
I booked
game.
it. Right. And it's not an ego bound thing. I'm really good at talking to the devs.
Yeah, no.
And like, I actually enjoy that more than playing the game with you guys talking to the devs. Like, I would
Yeah.
prefer to be the one talking while you guys are gaming,
Uh-huh.
just because. But like, this game, I wanted to play, so I got to play. I think was I first, or did you play first, Nick? I think you played first.
I think I played first while you were
Yeah,
talking.
because I was talking. And
No, you played first.
oh, I played first. Yeah, because the main dev came in afterwards. We had Sarah O
Right.
was hanging out with us.
Yeah,
She's a
she's
PR
the-
person.
The
PR.
yes.
Anyway, so basically it's another side-scrolling game you're an alien. It's kind of a sequel, but it's not a sequel because it happened 16 years later after the events of the old one. Blah, blah, blah. The game was fucking fun. So basically you got to do 2 levels and fight a boss. The first day I completely sucked. I got through the first level, died in the second level, but I was not going to let that go. So then day 2, I went back and I got to the boss. I did not beat the boss, but I got to the boss. But this is a co-op game that you will be seeing us play. So this was my favorite part. And like, the private back room was nice because like, we could talk to each other, and like, it wasn't, believe it or not, it was loud, but it wasn't that loud back there because you were surrounded by cloth. So it was almost like a quiet room.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was cool. Especially like in the context of the rest of like the booths that we visited. So like not so like, this is not really a negative. It's just like sort of how things worked. But
Right.
almost every other booth we went up to, we would have an appointment with them, and we would talk. The devs would talk to us, but like they wouldn't be like, "Oh, hey, random person who's playing the game. Like, do you mind if we cut in and have the media person who has the appointment play for a little bit?" And I'm not talking like I expect us to have special treatment all the time, but like I know Marcus and I ran into that when in previous years where we've gotten kicked off of games for someone in media to have their time to play. So it was like, we kind of expected that a little bit. So like when that didn't happen for like almost any booth, it was a little like, wah, wah. We got to wait like in line like everybody else when we had an appointment. But so that was a little disappointing. But when we got to Behemoth, they had the extra special spot, so they didn't have to kick anybody off the regular demo areas. They just brought us in the back, and it was awesome. We got extra time with the devs to chat, and we got like private play time, so we could just all hop right on. And that was really, really cool.
Right.
Yeah, I agree.
It like extra stood out after like going up to different booths, and it was just like, oh, well, you got to wait. But
Yeah.
speaking of waiting, or I should say, a lack thereof, on Thursday we walk in. So Thursday, the actual for the regular citizens or civilians, I mean, the
For the paying folk.
the paying. That's a good point. We did not pay for our passes. The as Storm and Norman would say, I don't pay for passes to PAX. But it opened at 10 a.m. So we got there at probably around 9:20, 9:30, and media could get in starting at 9 a.m. So there's really not that many people in there. It's just only media or people who worked at the expo. And the first booth that was giant in front of us, as soon as you get off the escalator, was for Dead Island 2.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
So it's
Welcome to Hell A.
Yeah, so it's set in LA. It's a zombie game. It's a first person like hack and slash. Like you're making your way through zombie areas.
It's the same
like
as
solve
Dead
puzzles.
Island 1.
Yeah. I'd never played Dead Island 1, but it was awesome. It was just really cool. Like that game probably had an hour wait for that demo, like all weekend after that. Like with 45 minutes after we played, it was probably an hour wait. But like we walked
the line
in.
was packed. Yep.
Yeah. Nobody was there. We walked right up, chatted with the developers, or at least the PR person that was there, and then played right away. I was okay at it. I died a bunch. Atrax like beat the whole thing.
I was the guy said I was the second person to beat it at PAX.
Which is
second
pretty
person to beat the demo. That felt pretty good.
Hell yeah. See, this is what I mean by like Atrax is a working class gamer. Marcus and I are working class nerds. There's levels. But
I did really good. I did really good in that demo. I made it to just about the end, but like for me, like standing up and playing a game is not awesome for me.
Yeah, and the way the desk that like the stuff was on, like my wrist was at a crazy angle, so I was getting like, purple tunnel-y feeling.
The height was not ideal.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the it just proves that Atrax is a gamer.
That was awesome. The game was cool. It was polished. It was like a great start. I was going to talk about a game that I found solo. So like at certain points during the weekend, we just sort of like wandered off in different directions from each other.
Yeah, but we were pretty much like one of us, like we were all together, like two of us were together, especially with Feta. Like Nick and me and Atrax were together like the whole day, or me and Nick were together the whole day. And like, you know what I mean? Like we were always together. Like I was never solo.
Yeah. I was solo for like, I don't know, 45 minutes maybe. And that's when I found this game. I think I went and got something to eat, hit the bathroom. And then I was like, all right, let me find a game. And I just walked up to this random game. And it's called Castle of Alchemists, and it's coming to Steam May 2023, so in a couple months. But it is a medieval setting, like sort of pixelated art style tower defense game. But so you set up, so basically the castle's getting invaded by knights from the rival kingdom, whatever, and you got to set up the tower defense in like the courtyard or whatever. But the different thing about this game is you also play as a character that can go in and fuck up the other knights while your traps are doing that too. So like the plot is like, oh, the alchemists in the castle have like been developing this super soldier, essentially. It's like this mutated being. We have to wake him up out of his mutation cycle early so that we can defend the castle. So like that's why you don't have all your powers yet. And you like, it's an RPG style, so you get to earn more stuff and upgrade your abilities and guns and things as they go along. So you have like a cannon, and you have like fireball spells, and you have like different potions. And so it's cool to set up like a tower defense style game, but then also you play this character that hops in and like you're running around between your traps and stuff and like shooting and beating up. You have like a giant hammer that you can smash bunches of enemies with at a time. It was really fun. It was cool. It felt good. It felt polished. Like we played some other indie games that like were really not polished. I don't want to like be negative, so I won't say their names. But like a couple games, I was like, oh, cool. Like this is a cool concept, but like the game is not polished at all. So this was awesome. I just wanted to shout that out while we were going through the list of stuff to chat about.
Yeah, absolutely.
Did we finish talking about like Behemoth's, the alien hominid invasion actual gameplay? I think we covered it pretty good, right?
I think so. We'll definitely be covering more of it.
Yeah, you stay tuned for details on a lot of these. I think we have some things in the works. You'll probably see more of these games.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot.
Our due PAX media diligence, because we got treated pretty nicely. So
yes, we gotta honor
some
the agreement.
Games. Yeah.
So as everybody knows, I love Castlevania games. Love them. And when we got there, there was this game called Gal Guardians. Yep. And Gal Guardians is basically a Castlevania game.
It's like co-op.
You can play it co-op, but here's the thing, is there's a melee and a ranged character, and when you're playing solo, you can switch between them.
Yeah.
Because there's different things each character could do. And I wanted to play this so much. because I wanted to, but there was always a line. Always. And then at some point on Friday, me and Nick were walking past it and there was an open thing and I was like, here, let's go. And man, we got sunk our teeth into this game and they give you like 15 minutes to play the game. There's like a timer and then it automatically restarts.
Yeah, and I think that's good in a
so basically, I don't think there was an end to the game. You could just do whatever you wanted for 15 minutes.
Right.
And it was fantastic. And I am definitely going to buy that game 100%.
Yeah, me too.
But again, I'm bringing it back to Elden Ring. Like,
when are you going to play it?
Right now, like, honestly, after stream... No. Yeah, after stream on Tuesday, I logged off right at like 11:02 and I logged right into Elden Ring. Fought a couple things, got the ability to summon, and I tried to fight a troll and I died. And I died twice because I was over eager. But like, I wasn't trying to play, but like, I just needed to play. And like today, I think I've watched like 12 beginner guides to Elden Ring because like, I want to learn. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like just about the game because I don't listen to it. But yeah.
You just click through all the things.
There was so much.
Oh, wait. We finished talking about Gal Guardian. So yeah, it's side-scrolling platformer, but like
it's a Castlevania.
Like Castlevania.
It's Castlevania Symphony of the Night.
It was just cool
Bloodstained.
because it was co-op. I don't think I've ever played a co-op game like that. And again, super polished. Like it's a pixelated art style, similar to like the old Castlevania games, but like the gameplay felt great. Like the hitboxes, I never felt I got like cheesed out of a hit or cheesed into like taking damage or something. Like everything felt super polished, and I am not a person for that gameplay, that game style at all. Like I'm always I'm terrible at platformers. That's not my jam. Like it's not something I'm into. But like it came quickly to me, in a way where that games of that style normally don't. And it just felt really good. It was satisfying to play co-op. Like, it really impressed me, honestly. Especially, like, seeing so many games in, like, different stages of development. Like, seeing something that's, like, simple but super polished. Like, I really appreciated it, you know?
Yeah.
The only downside to the game is it was on the Switch. And the fucking Switch controller, like... At least with a PlayStation controller, their buttons are XY square, square and circle or triangle. But like the Switch controller has the exact same letters as the Xbox, just in a fucking jumbled way. Yep. And it's terrible.
It's so confusing.
It's so
like,
dumb.
Press X to jump, and like,
and you're pressing it, and I'm not jumping. Oh, that's
where
why.
B. It's where B or circle is on other controllers.
Right.
Yeah.
It's like, oh my god. But yeah, that was my only gripe as well. But I think platforms.
Yeah,
right.
It's on Steam.
Well, yeah, it's on Steam. But I was gonna. So I like the game so much. Like I was gonna buy a collector's edition of it. Like that was gonna be my purchase. But they only had the hard copy Switch version. And I'm like, I don't need another Switch game.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah. But that was a lot of fun. Honestly, oh my god, what was the name of that game? Go.
I don't know.
It was
here. Look for it. I got one to talk about that I played with Joey Feta.
Yeah.
So Joey Feta and I played a dinosaur game that he was really looking forward to. That I don't really want to talk about or say the name of because it was awful. But
okay.
But I got a free little dinosaur out of it. So. Like, the people were super duper nice. One of the PR folks came up to me because I had a Dragon Ball Super t-shirt on. Shout out to Marcus, got me a t-shirt. That was sweet.
Nice.
What shirt?
The Dragon Ball one.
Oh, yeah.
Also got me a Vault-Tec t-shirt later in the day, which I wore yesterday. But later in the weekend, I mean. And then, so Joey and I go over. We were chatting with the dinosaur game folks, and... it is. They were super nice. The booth was decorated nice, but like the game was just terrible. Like the animations weren't done or anything. Like things just like gliding around, clipping over all kinds of stuff. There's a bug where like Joy fell off the map. Like, anyways, it just needed a lot of work. But like the concept was cool, just not polished at all. So right next to it, as we were leaving, we saw this game called Gigabash. And it's a four player like free for all melee game where you play as different kaiju. So you play as like all the characters from the Godzilla movies. There's like a giant mech robot. I forgot what you call those. A Gundam, I think they're called. Like,
Okay.
there's like flower monsters, like, and you destroy the buildings and throw buildings at each other. Like it was like Godzilla Destroy All Monsters melee.
Sounds like King of the Fighters too.
From like I played that on GameCube with my dad a bunch. Godzilla Destroy All Monsters. This feels like an updated version with updated graphics and everything. I think it's available now on all the platforms, or at least Steam. Yeah, all the platforms. Just
Nick,
not
you should
Switch.
reach out to them and see if they'll send you a key so we can play it.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah.
It's on.
You know what I mean? Write it on the list.
Yeah,
Like,
it was.
But don't
really
wait
cool.
because you'll forget.
I'm gonna add it to the list while I'm talking right now.
Right.
But did you find the name of that Go-Go game?
Yeah, I did. So my favorite thing about a video game convention is like when Nick or Atrax was playing a game, and if I got sick of standing there, I'm infamous for just pulling off. If there's an empty console, I just start playing it. Or console like station, empty station, I play it no matter what it is. Like I played this other game and it was the dumbest fucking game I ever played, but why not? When in Rome, right?
Yeah.
So I stumbled across this game called Go-Go Town.
Okay.
It's immediately I saw it, and this woman, Cheryl, she was the PR director, and I started talking to her. I was like, "What is this?" She goes, "Have you ever played Animal Crossing?" No. Have you ever played anything like that? No. Did you ever play Stardew Valley? No. And she's like, "Oh, this is going to be interesting." And I was like, so basically, immediately, what is my favorite thing in New World, Atrax?
I don't know, cutting down
Is it
trees.
chopping wood?
Yes. So
That's my
immediately
favorite
it
thing,
says
too.
cut down 3 trees. I was like, I got to cut down trees. She's like, yeah. And so I'm playing this game, and I went from like mega energy to straight chilling.
Yeah.
Like all of a sudden she's like, "Oh, you can get on this bicycle and ride your bike around." I start riding my bike around.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh, this is really relaxing." And she's like, "Oh yeah, you can go in that cave and mine some stone, and you can build this. And you can make rock pets and sell them to people." I'm like, "What? Rock pets? Really?" And so I'm playing this game, going, "Oh my god, I'm having like 20 minutes." 20 minutes go by. Nick and Atrax are playing Strayed Lights.
Wait, real quick. I pulled it up on Steam, like I Googled it. There's a live broadcast of the developers playing it right now on Steam.
Oh.
Really?
Yeah, here, I'll put the
link. Give us the link.
I'll put it in the Riverside chat. Sorry. So
Yep.
All right. So anyway,
boom, it's there.
So,
You were saying you could make pet rocks.
oh, you can't chat?
Huh?
You might be able to find it on Twitch.
So,
Prideful Sloth is the developer.
yeah. Well, anyway, so I had so much fun playing this game, and it was super relaxing. It's another game that I went back to and played. Like, I've never played a game like that, but as I started to play it, I'm like, man, this looks really familiar. Like, really familiar. And then I played it more, and I looked right at the dev, because at this point, I've talked so much to Cheryl, the PR. She grabbed one of the other devs to come talk to me, and I looked at him, and I was like, you know what this reminds me of? And they're like, what? I was like, Zelda: Link to the Past. The dude melted down. He's like, dude, nobody has said that, but it is an inspiration. Like the map layout, the way it looks, the way you move through. I was just like, wow, that's fucking great. And I had so much fun doing that. It's just, yeah.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, there's nobody streaming it.
Oh wait, did the dev get like teary eyed when you said that?
No, just like when like you hit a spot, like when we left Riot,
Yeah.
Atrax felt like he had the biggest dick on the planet, like it was dragging behind him, like it's a tail.
100%.
You know what I mean? Because the devs were like, dude,
Yeah.
you beat this without dying? Like what? Like
Yeah,
what?
when you get the big compliment like that too, and
Yeah, because
like-
you know that's not normal.
Especially when they announced the game like 3 weeks prior, and they had been developing it for 4 years,
right?
and it's all this exclusiveness. Oh yeah, that was it. It was right up there with when they told me I was the second person to beat Dead Island 2. And
Right.
I realized one other thing. I'm going to just very quickly mention this to cut in, Marcus. They had a booth there, the Aorus booth, which I think is a gaming company. Gigabyte.
Yeah.
And they had a CSGO 1v1 like section where people
Oh
were
my
playing
god, I
1v1s.
forgot about this.
Yes. Okay.
And
Of course, Marcus signed up Atrax.
no, it wasn't like a sign up thing. You just walk up and
Well, no.
line.
I was like, Atrax, you
stand
got to
in
do
line.
this.
Yeah. So you stand in line, and as I'm standing there looking at it, I realize this isn't Counter-Strike Go. This isn't CSGO. This is CS Source 2. And I'm very convinced because the AK sounded different, the pistols sounded different, the shadows and the shaders, everything looked way better. So I got to play Source 2 there, which made
Is that
me
confirmed?
Yeah. Oh, dude, they already have people playing it. They had the first pro show match already.
Oh, yeah.
Like it
Yep.
is the last major is for CS:GO is announced. Like it is huge. It's coming out this summer. It is 100% confirmed it's coming.
Yeah. So you pretty much played Counter-Strike 2.
So I played the new Source 2 and that felt super great, even though I lost my 1v1 7-10.
Yeah. But
I got
you were
wrecked.
close though.
Well-
it seemed closer from the outside looking in. Like I feel like you were
Really?
definitely competitive. Yeah.
My excuse is that they didn't let you adjust your game settings, meaning they didn't let you adjust your crosshair, which for people that play CS:GO, anybody knows that if you can't play with your crosshair and you've got like, especially mine is very small and I don't have a dot in the middle. This one was like super long lines. So for reference, I usually play with like a 0.5 length and this was a 5.0 length. And then I don't have a dot in the middle, and this one had a dot in the middle. So it was like it was just big and in the way. But the gameplay felt super great. Anyway,
Well, that's cool.
I had to interject that one thing. Well, while we're talking about super awesome updated
Like exclusive stuff.
exclusivity, that felt pretty great.
Yeah. I definitely want to check out that Riot game, Mage Seeker. Like that seemed really fun too. It's not usually my normal like type of game, but it seemed interesting.
Well,
I like the art style too.
what PAX taught me was there's so many awesome games that I want to play, and I don't because I'm locked into streaming one game.
Yep.
Right.
And it's time for a change because, like, I feel like I've talked about Elden Ring like 10 times tonight, but like, I want to play Elden Ring. I want to play Gal Guardians. I want to play Crime Boss. I want to play WrestleQuest.
Oh, we
You know
didn't
what I
talk about
mean?
Crime Boss yet.
Or WrestleQuest. Yeah, we talked.
But like, I just want a game. What?
Yeah.
I
Hey,
saw
we
your
agree.
face. All right, so we go. I'm with Atrax, and he's like, "Mark, you got to come play this game with me." I'm like, "Okay, let's go." So it's this game called Crime Boss, and I was like, "What the fuck is this?" I didn't care. It's a first-person shooter type game. He's like, "Have you ever played Payday or Payday 2?" And I said, "Yeah, love that game." He goes, "It's just like it." So we start playing this game, and the dev is right there talking to us about the game. He's from 505 Studios. We're chatting about the game, and he's like, "Dude, this is, you want to pick this guy because he has an assault rifle. Don't you pick this guy because all he has is a pistol. He has other skills that you'll need in the game, but like you can have the bot do it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
like we went in and this game was legit.
It's a co-op game, right?
Yeah, 4
Yeah.
players.
Yep.
Nice.
And it was so much fun. And the dev linked us together so we were in the same match. I had so much fun playing that game because it was like, it was hard, but it was easy. Like you could kill things, but you could die, but it's unlimited revives.
Yeah.
You can revive your teammates as much as you want.
Yeah, the objectives were very simple. Run in here, go get this, take the loot, run it out to your van, don't die. But you couldn't just blow through it. You had to kind of work together. All right, yeah,
Right.
we'll slowly clear through this area. And it had that very loose, arcadey shooter feel to it. I'm looking forward to that. Crime Boss Rockaway, something like that.
That developer was super duper into like partnering up too, which was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
So it's cool to see like an enthusiastic developer on top of a really good game, you know?
Right.
It's one thing to have like enthusiastic folks at the booth, but then like if the game's terrible, it's like wah, wah. But like
Right.
like that dinosaur game that I will not name. It was cool to see have both in combo.
Yeah.
Can I chat about something non-game related on the trip?
Yeah.
So
Of course.
Atrax, along with Marcus and I being extra loud, I think we also like the room cold, and I like a lot of airflow. So like, I had the fan on for the AC. Like even if the AC wasn't on, I had the fan on all the time. And then I also had brought like a little fan with me because just in case the hotel doesn't let you do that, I like to have a fan. I sleep with fan noise, so I had a fan like on my bedside. And the way Atrax, oh my god, I forgot to talk about this. I'll circle back to that. Never mind, I'll do it now. So Atrax, let me back up a little. In booking this trip, okay, let's talk about the room. So hotel rooms were really expensive in that area, especially around PAX. I think normally the hotels are like $150 a night, which for like a city like makes sense, right? But because PAX was that weekend, they were like $350 a night. So which turns into for 2 nights it's like $750-ish, but then with taxes and fees it's like $950. So that's a lot of money, even if you split it 3 ways. So I really didn't want to get a second room because then that would have doubled. So we got one room. Marks and I took the 2 queen beds, and then Atrax, I got a twin air mattress, so we could tweak that in there with, and I got some sheets and stuff for him. And of course, we prorated what he paid his share of the room because he got an air mattress and not a real bed. So, but I go to Walmart to get the air mattress, and I'm looking at the sheets, and I'm like, okay, I can get the standard issue green ones for like $8, or if I look over here, for $20, I can get the bright pink and purple rainbow unicorn sheets.
Yeah. And well, it was like some sort of
Like kids show or something.
Yeah,
or,
some sort of kids
like,
show, or it wasn't
Yeah.
even a unicorn show. It was
just like the sheets for like the character in the show, essentially.
yeah.
Yeah, so it's like pink and purple with like clouds and rainbows and unicorns, and
No.
it was awesome.
No. The
What?
name of the show is JoJo Siwa.
Okay.
And,
Oh.
and it's just patterns. Like all little girls love unicorns and rainbows. Like that's all it is. It's little girl
Yeah.
sheet set, but it was the funniest shit ever because when Atrax opened it all up, he's like, "Are you fucking kidding me? I'm
Oh.
not sleeping on that."
Well, and it was funny because we get there and we finally check into the hotel. What
Yeah.
time was this? Maybe like
Well, afternoon.
4, 5, something
No,
like
because
that.
we checked in earlier because we did like a pit stop and then went back to the.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So it was, I don't know, around before lunch, I think.
They needed
After
to
lunch.
power up.
And I'm just sitting in the chair, doing I forget exactly what I was doing, but I was just preparing for the rest of the day. And Nick was like, "Oh yeah, so this is your bedding bag. If you want to like check through it and just make sure that like everything is to your liking." And I was so exhausted in my head. I was just like, "Nah, dude, it's fine. Like I'll deal with it when I set it up later. Like it's fine. You can just set it over there. It's no problem."
Yeah.
Just like, okay,
I'm like, okay.
all right, fine, whatever.
And like I revisited
And
it like 2 or
insert the
3 times.
micromanaging.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then later, I'm doing something again. He's like, all right, so you definitely want to check your bedding. It's like, all right,
like, check
fine,
it out, dude. It's
I'll
like-
do it. Cool. I'll see that it's an air mattress with some sheets and a blanket. Cool. Like, whatever, fine. And then I unzip it. And I just see this like very pink rainbow unicorn box staring at me. And I was like, all right. Yeah, okay. This is what's happening. All right.
The
I
best
will
part
say-
was like, oh, go ahead.
I was just going to say, at least they were new, and because they were meant for little girls, they were actually relatively comfortable.
Okay, good. Yeah, I that was my point. Was like, I feel like that's a pretty like grade A harmless prank.
Yep,
You know what
that's
I mean?
perfect.
It's like
Yeah.
nobody got hurt. Nobody's in. I mean, a slight embarrassment, but that's nothing crazy. you know?
Right. Yeah.
Just like a fun little prank, I suppose. But
Yeah.
that was fun. I think we posted the pictures in the Discord if you want to check it out.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I think I did anyway. I was all proud of myself. But no, what I was referring to, so Atrax is at the in the air mattress at the like sort of the foot of our beds, Marcus and I's, and so he's essentially got the way the air layout was like the vent for the AC was on up high on the wall and right in front of him, and then the way the fan was that I had, it was almost pointing at him too. So it made like one, I think it was Friday or Saturday morning. I forget what morning. He's like, yeah, it's like a vortex in here. Jesus.
Yeah, there was constant wind. So for reference, I don't know what temperature Marcus and Nick like to sleep at. I imagine it's somewhere at the point water freezes. But but I like to keep
Like,
my-
okay, like high 60s, like
Yeah,
67,
right.
68.
Yeah, of course that was an exaggeration. But like from me, very cold. I keep
Yeah.
my room, and I understand that I keep my room warm, but for
Yeah.
me, when I'm sleeping, it's like 75, 80, somewhere in
Oh!
there. And I have
That sounds
a
horrible.
fan to keep the air moving.
Ugh.
And sometimes I will crack the window, but I like it warm. I do not like it cold. So
It's actually
when I
worse
was
for you.
when I was sleeping in sweatpants and a shirt, and I had my hoodie on, plus the blanket, and all this wind going on.
You're like,
It was-
sucks.
Well, I was too tired to care, and I was
Yeah.
also too happy to care because that was. I've said this before, but that was a trip that was the best trip that I've taken in years. I can say I haven't, at least so far, experienced a point where I'm like, oh man, yeah, that was a really sore spot in the trip. Like everything went pretty smoothly despite the long travel, really not that bad because everything that we did, every game that we got to go see and everybody that we got to talk to, it just made up for it.
Yeah, 100%. I had a great time.
Yeah.
Honestly, I did not realize that you were that cold. I just thought you were complaining about the wind, but I
No.
feel a little bad. We could have adjusted the temperature.
Well, I was comfortable. If I wasn't comfortable, I would have said something
yeah.
for sure.
Atrax, what else did you play?
So Marcus played Elden Ring, and shortly after the Elden Ring booth, I walked away and I found this game that is another Souls-like, and it's called Anatria: The Last
Oh my god, I
Song.
played that game.
I'm hoping that I said that correctly. But it is a Souls-like game. That's the best way I can describe it. It was a lot of fun. It had a stagger mechanic, and I can't remember exactly all the details. The person there was super, super kind and explained the system to me. I got to the boss, and I got pretty close to beating it, but I died. And I just we didn't have time. We had another appointment with Death Road's tournament, which I will talk about after this. But I did revisit the booth a couple of times just to mess around with the game, and I kind of tried to beat the boss, but I didn't really try to. I just tried to grasp the dodge and parry mechanic and how to stagger the enemy. There is some sort of last song, like, I don't know if it's a status break, but basically the character kind of gets glassy, and then you can like hit them and it shatters them out of their normal state, and then they're kind of weakened. It's like their traditional stagger. At least that's how I remember it. Maybe I'm remembering it wrong. But if you are a if you are a Dark Souls fan, I know we have quite a few of them out there. Anatria, the last song, when I played it, it was pretty polished. And it was like the combat felt really good, and once you got the dodge timing down, the dodging felt really good too because of just how it moved. And also, the demo that I played was in Unreal Engine 4, but the game will be in Unreal Engine 5. So it should be even better than what I played. So that's another thing too, is that if you want a Souls-like that's in Unreal Engine 5, go check out Enotria, the last song. Enotria, the last song.
Awesome.
And then right after that, I had to cut that short because we went to Death Road's tournament.
That was another game that surprised me.
That game
I was surprised at
awesome.
how much I liked it.
Yeah. And it's already out on Steam. It came out 2 days ago as of the recording date. So it came out March 28th, 2023.
Yep.
And it is a roguelike deck building racing game, is how it's officially described. But basically, you have your car and you have your deck, which your car has different cards that it can play. And you travel along the road. Each stage is like a little spot on your map. And you have your entire roadmap that you can see from start to finish, so you can kind of plot your course.
Right.
And
I should also say, not to cut you off.
No, please do.
The like lore of the game is it's set almost like a Mad Max style sort of setting, where all the cars have like crazy guns and like spikes on them and extra armor. So like you're going along this road in this like sort of apocalyptic, deserty sort of feel with all the crazy cars, crazy like upgrades to your cars and weaponry and stuff, and you're fighting other vehicles as you're driving on this road. So that's why it's called Death Road's Tournament, where you're like continually, as you go on, you like select you go down the road on the big map. Is essentially like each little spot on the big map is a level more or less, and that's where you're fighting other cars. And the cards that you draw are different things that your car does, either changing lanes or like shoot weapons in front of you, shoot weapons behind you, or you have special abilities. Like the character that I played as was like a vagabond, and like he essentially, it doesn't say that it's alcohol, but it's like, I forgot what the name of the card was, but basically it's a liquor bottle is the logo. And then there's a mechanic where like if you what was it called? If you swerve too much, like you have a swerve bar or something like that, and if it goes to 0, you lose control of the car, and you draw from a different deck that just like makes your car move all over the place. So like that special card with the liquor bottle on it was like your swerve bar goes all the way to 0, but like you do way more bash damage. So if you slam into another car, you do way more damage, which is kind of funny because it basically means like your driver gets drunk and then just like thrashes all over the place.
Yeah.
Which is just a silly like mechanic, you know?
So when you're actually playing these individual missions on the map, you've got like 5 lanes that you can switch between. And the game is, if I remember him saying correctly, the game is hand drawn, like the art style is hand drawn. So you're going along and there are certain hazards on the road in certain lanes. So like if you, like Nick mentioned, you draw from a certain swerve deck, if you lose control of your car, well, if you get to where you swerve up 2 lanes, but you only have one lane to go into, then you hit the edge of the road and your car takes damage. Or if there's a car below you, then you swerve into them and you do damage to them, or maybe you do some damage to yourself.
Right.
So the cars can kind of change, and then some of your weapons can only shoot in front of you in certain spots. Some can only shoot behind you in certain spots. So you have to use your cards to position yourself on the road in the right spot so that you can use your weapons.
Yes.
And
That are
in
your hand, yeah.
That are in your hand. So it's like you need to build your deck appropriately, but also then other stuff can happen too. And the other cars can push you out of lanes or into lanes, or, so there's that whole layer.
Yeah, it's like turn-based. So like you can play more than one card, but each card has like a... Is that what was that the swerve bar was the value of the card? And if that got to 0, it was a problem?
Yeah.
I think so.
I think so. So like each card uses up that swerve bar. So if you like use too many cards in one hand, that makes your car driving unstable. Like you kind of did too many things and you swerve all over the place.
And then there's another mechanic that I didn't fully figure out in the few minutes that we had to play that I'm really looking forward to. But your cards would do different things depending on which gear you were in. And as you did more things in higher gears, then your car would automatically shift to a lower gear. So you could play a card to shift to 5th gear, so your cards are doing something crazy. But then after your turn, then you're like down into 3rd, or you're down into 2nd or something like that. And then you have to shift up. You have to play cards to shift up in order to do more. So there's that whole layer. And if you enjoy deck building games, or if you enjoy roguelike games, highly recommend Death Roads. That was awesome.
And the devs were really cool and nice.
Yeah, they were super awesome.
They're from
Poland.
They're from Poland, and I forgot the name of the dev company, but
they let me play until they had another media thing, and they're like, "Hey, we have another media thing, so you guys have been here for like an hour. Can we let these guys play?"
Yeah. We spent a lot of time there. Like I was totally expecting to play for 5 minutes and be like, whatever. But like it scratched like the Gwent from The Witcher 3 itch with the deck building. I was like, ooh, okay. So you have to like strategize as you're playing, and there's once I got that down, I was like, oh, this is really cool. And then on top of it, like the art style is cool. It like engaging, and then like all the weapon animations and bashing and thrashing around is like very, like it sucks you in. It's like, it's all cool.
Yeah.
So I wasn't expecting to like that very much, and it really drew me in as well. But
the game was awesome.
Death Roads Tournament.
So I'm going to talk about 2 games. First one was I fell into this game.
Yeah.
And it was, again, a game that had an open seat. And it was called Amanda the Adventurer.
Okay.
And basically, if you've played a game, it's called Her Story. It's basically like a video type puzzle game. So you're in your old house. This is all I know. You're in your old house or something, and you're in the attic. And there's a videotape next to, like a VHS tape next to a TV. And you put it in, and it's this old TV show called Amanda the Adventurer, where Amanda and this sheep, Wooly
the sheep,
explain to you how to essentially do puzzles in the room. And the best way I can explain it is the attic is an escape room.
Yep.
Okay.
And you have to do the puzzles that are in the video and then put them into real placement. And then you unlock I'll give an example of the demo. The demo was you had to cook an apple pie, but when you finished cooking the apple pie, it was a new videotape.
Yeah. So the video was like Amanda and Wooly let's bake a pie. Oh, well, what do we need to do? Preheat the oven to 425 degrees. Then we need an apple. Then we need this. Then we need that. And so then you put all these ingredients into a pan, and then you put the you put it in, and then out pops the VCR.
Uh-huh.
And so it was a pretty cool puzzle game. And what was really interesting about it was I was hooked from the start. There was no I didn't feel as if I wasn't connected to the game. Like I wanted to do the puzzle.
Yeah.
So, it was a surprise game. Talked to the dev. He didn't have any business cards. I gave him mine. I was like, dude, I really hope you messaged me. Because it's
just a cool experience.
Yeah,
right.
He was the guy we talked to was a developer, video editor, and also voiced one of the characters in the game. Said they were aiming for I think 3 hours of story or something like that. So kind of a smaller game, but like Marcus said, going for deep immersion. And there was a part where it asks you, what's your favorite type of pie? Because they're talking about pie, and Wooly's like, my favorite is peach pie. What's your favorite type of pie? And there's 6 characters, but there's kind of no right answer. So I put apple because the apple pie, right? You were making the apple pie. But I think Marcus put peach or cherry.
No,
or
cherry.
Something. Yeah, Marcus put cherry, and his ending, well, not necessarily his ending, but some parts of his demo were a little bit different than the parts of my demo.
Oh, really?
It wasn't.
That's cool.
It wasn't drastically different, but it was 5 to 10 seconds. At least what I remembered and noticed, it was 5 to 10 seconds of different things. And so he was saying it's maybe only 2 to 3 hours, but the point is to have replayability and just be just to be able to notice, hey, there's this really small change. Maybe it's a small one, but hey, it's a small change in the gameplay, and kind of figure out those things. Yeah,
And
you'll be able to hear that interview. I think we have that one recorded, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Almost if I was involved, there was recording. I
Nice.
recorded everything.
I think, Marcus had that thing on almost the whole time.
All the time.
Yeah, and the last game I wanted to talk about was, if you guys know, I love wrestling. I really loved it as a kid and as a teenager, and then it kind of drifted. But in the last year, I really started to watch it again. And part of it is my son.
Oh, he's
and getting
big
him
into
involved
wrestling.
with it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we walked by this booth, and it was called WrestleQuest. And right past the booth was a real wrestling ring.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And they had a
And-
belt in there. You could take pictures.
Right. We didn't get a picture in there. That was weird.
We did
That's a
that.
fail. That was a total oversight.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so this game is a 16-bit RPG turn-based combat wrestling game. Basically, your idol is Macho Man Randy Savage, and that's what you look like, but you're a young wrestler, and you're going to work your way through the ranks in this turn-based combat and play it in a sense where you are working up through the ranks and doing it. And the demo was actually awesome. Yeah. And then on top of it, all of the devs were full, wrestling
Fans?
Yeah, fans, and the way they presented themselves. One of the head devs was wearing a cowboy hat and sunglasses and a big leather jacket.
Yep.
Yeah, they
were
kind
just-
of were like characters anyway.
Right.
Yep.
They were acting as characters, and it was such a cool experience. And then during the day on Friday and Saturday, they had live wrestling matches, which was
In that
pretty
ring.
fucking in the ring, which was
In the
pretty
ring.
cool.
Yep.
In the ring. In the ring.
In the ring.
In the ring.
You're a towel. Anyway,
You're a towel.
We were saying that all weekend. I don't remember where that started, but somebody said
it.
you're a something, and then Marcus goes, you're a towel, and that was it. And
Yeah.
all weekend was just,
That was the meme.
you're
Yeah.
a towel.
So
You're
anyway,
a towel.
but this WrestleQuest was pretty cool. The one thing I will say about PAX East in the games, I feel like some of the demos were too long.
WrestleQuest was one of those, yeah.
And
Because
they
sometimes they just weren't demos. It was the whole game.
Right. They like could have done away with a lot of the tutorial and just been like, just wrestle a match.
Right.
And done some
Just
like
press the
tutorial,
buttons.
like comic book windows that says, hey, a hard attack or a soft attack does this. This is allocates points. When you get hype on the cheer meter, that's when you gain more fighting points.
Yeah.
And it was such a cool game. That's definitely a game that, again, I'm going back to not playing just one game. That's a game I want to play. Now,
Yeah.
do I think I'm going to spend the 30 hours it's going to take to beat it? Probably not. But
Right.
that's a game I want to support. And that's my final thought on this. If you guys have anything else, great. But my final thought on PAX was some of the demos were too long.
Yep.
The experience was awesome, but something else that I loved about it was I appreciated indie games like I don't now. There was no giant like there was 505 Studios. There were
Intel,
studios there, big
yeah.
studios. Dead Island 2. Fuck Toxic Crusaders. They didn't even get back to me with an email, an interview request. I asked 3
THQ
times.
Nordic. Yeah.
Yeah, like there was I played Rec Nation.
Recreation.
Recreation, that's it.
Oh my God.
But my overall thoughts were it was cool because it forced me to play indie games, and I had a lot of fun playing indie games.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too. Like I was pleasantly surprised on multiple occasions,
And
it caught me off guard.
right, and I never knew that Nick had such bad fucking gas until we stayed in the room with him.
Oh, said the
Yeah.
Marcus
Yeah,
had
it
the
was
gas.
Nick. Sure.
Yeah, no. Marcus was blowing up the place
Yeah.
constantly.
Yeah, and of course I was in the corner where all the wind gathered.
The vortex.
In the
in the
vortex.
vortex. It was, oh my goodness.
Wait a minute. We should make a new text or voice channel in
In the
Discord
vortex.
called the Vortex.
So something I'm gonna talk about the last thing. So when with the Friday night when we finished the expo hall, we went for a walk, and we walked by this room that had 500 TVs with different systems.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
it
We
was
walked
the
into this room.
console free play area.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And-
I never knew this was a thing.
yeah. So we walked in, and you had to scan this QR code to find out all of the games they had. It was basically any game you wanted to play, you could play.
Yeah, they had you
Yep.
go up to this separate room that has a big table. It's like a sign-in desk, and you literally take a number from a deli thing. And they're like 374, 374, 374. Okay, here, come on over. It's like, what do you want to play? What? Like, all right, we can do it on this console. That console sound good? Like, yep.
Yeah.
All right, how many controllers do you want? 4? Yep, here you go. Go play. Swing it up.
Yeah. Give us your ID.
What was the name of that game?
Gang Beasts.
Gang Beasts.
So
Yeah,
it's
we played with Joey Feta, and it was fucking awesome. You guys want to describe the game?
It's basically you are little clay people.
Yep.
And you have to knock each other out and throw each other off the stage. But you don't have like health in the same way that other fights. So like, you think of Smash Bros or something, you have like percentages, or Street Fighter, you have health. Well, basically in Gang Beasts, when you get knocked out, the more knocked out you get, the longer you stay knocked out.
Right.
And so the controls are one button is your right hand, one button is your left hand, one button lifts up your hands, the other button is like your head, which you can like put your head down,
yeah, do like
and
a
that's
little
pretty
headbutt.
much it. And so you click the buttons for your hands and it will like automatically go to the nearest object, whether that's the floor or your other people. And so then you just kind of like walk around and they're like,
like punching each other in a
It was-
hole that you
yeah,
can grab onto them. It's
Yeah.
so funny.
yeah.
it was so much fun.
And you like weeble wobble around, and and it's not like exactly like the right timing, so it's all sloppy and like chaotic, and it's like you're laughing and you're like,
Yeah.
oh, don't throw me off, and you flail out of the way, and it's
Right.
it's wicked fun.
It is a whole lot of fun. And
We were like laughing the whole time.
we were, definitely some of the loudest people in there.
Yeah, like I thought like
sure.
one table over from us was loud, and then they like settled into their game, and then we started playing. I was like, oh, we are so much louder than them.
Yeah, I'm sure everybody in the expo hall could hear us at that point.
Especially when we burst out laughing at like what you did.
Yeah. So
Do
there's
you want to describe the
yes.
map?
So there is a map where two trucks are driving down the highway.
Two semis,
And
yeah.
yeah, two semi trucks are driving down the highway, and you start off spawning on top of these. They each are loaded with like one shipping container, and the
Yep.
shipping containers on the inside. So like the right of the left truck and the left of the right truck, they have like doors that kind of swing open. So you can, with some skill, get into the shipping containers, but generally people don't. So you're up on top of these two trucks
As they're driving.
as they're driving, and you're fighting. So obviously then you knock people out and you throw them off the trucks, and then whoever's left on the trucks wins. Well, what you can do is there are some signs that come by, like the giant highway signs, and you can either jump through. It'll be like over one truck will be a sign, and then over the other truck there won't be a sign, so you can jump like through the little sign spot. But
Yeah.
you can jump on top of the cab of the truck and hold your headbutt button down, and it will lay you on the top of the truck. And so then the signs just go over you no matter which truck you're on.
Yeah, so you're essentially like hiding on because the camera is like behind the trucks as they're driving,
Right.
and you can it lets you stand on the hood of the truck now, and so like the top of the cab like masks you, you know.
Right. And there's that little space because the shipping container is slightly taller than the hood
Yeah.
of the truck, or the hood of the cab. So
Yeah.
I was laying on the hood of the cab, and
Hood of the truck, yeah.
the hood of the truck, and Marcus and Joey and Nick were all fighting, and I think it was Marcus was the last one, and he was hanging on to the side of
No,
one
it
of
was
the
me.
trucks.
It was Nick. I was,
It was
never
me.
the last one. I was
Oh no,
terrible
it
at
was
this game.
it was Nick.
I think we knocked Marcus off. I couldn't see A-Track, so I'm assuming
Right.
he fell off already. So now it's
Yeah.
me and Joey fighting. He end up like knocking him off, but he's like dragging me down over the side of the truck. He falls, gets eliminated, and I'm still hanging on between the two trucks.
Right.
Like somehow the trucks, like I feel like they moved closer to each other and then spread apart more.
They do.
a
They
little
kind
bit.
of bounce back and forth.
So like at the point, I think my guy was literally doing like a Claude Van Damme, like had his two arms. I think he does the splits in the movie, but has his one arm on one truck, one arm on the other, and I'm hanging between, and I'm like,
Yeah.
wait a minute, why didn't I win? Like I'm gonna fall because the trucks are gonna fall, like split apart, and I'll fall.
Right.
I was like, why didn't I win yet? There's nobody left. There's nobody else on the screen. It's just me. And then all of a sudden, I see A-Tracks pop up, and you can do this emotion where you, like put both hands up, and he just goes,
Yeah.
surprise. And right as he goes surprise, the trucks split apart. I fall, die. It's like A-Trax wins. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh my god.
It was hilarious because they're all, you can tell that him and Joey are just so invested in their fight, and they're battling, and finally, Joey falls off, and then Nick is holding onto the trucks. Oh no, he's gonna fall. Wait, why haven't I won? And he
Right.
says that just so. Wait, why haven't I
Why
won
haven't I
yet?
won? And surprise! Boom!
Oh,
I fall
man.
and die. A-Trax wins. I was like, oh, I wish we'd recorded that.
It was so funny. Good.
It was awesome.
times. Good times.
That was great. I think that's the gist of the game. Little highlights. We will definitely have more PAX content. We have a lot of recordings to go through that we want to post between the dev interviews and our just like ramblings between ourselves.
Well,
Yeah, hopefully before this episode goes live, we can get the day one recap going so
Okay.
that we can, like, that can play, because that's really actually good content, because you're getting us right out of the show floor talking about all the awesome stuff we did that day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
it's
really learn a lot about somebody by what they order at a bar.
Yeah,
all.
I'm not even gonna say that, because when you order something that is in March, you'll have to listen to this thing.
yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Just listen to it.
Did you guys see my text message?
No.
Put a marker down.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we can
You
do
got-
that.
That's fine.
Do you want to or skip it?
Oh yeah, it's almost midnight. We should skip it. Let's do it. Let's save it for next week.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because we're still good. Like, I don't think we book a guest next week. I think we just continue the PAX talk.
Recap.
I'm
'Cause
going
I'd
to
like
listen to this episode and then be like, oh, and we didn't talk about this, or we should talk more about that.
Yeah.
I
And
agree.
And like, so while we were doing this, I'm in the Go Towns Discord talking with Cheryl, who was the dev that I spoke about. And she's like, oh my God, I can't believe you found us. We've been talking about you since PAX. Like, all right, let's go.
Woohoo!
Then
Cue the intro.
Yep. So now I'm talking with the 505 guys right now in their Discord. And, yeah. So
Sweet.
Stay tuned for more epic
No,
PAX
that
stuff.
like this isn't gonna be in the podcast.
Yeah, no. Okay. Anyway,
so
I'll take us back and be like, so I'll just explain it.
It's midnight.
Yeah.
All right.
So, in light of working class questions, we have a lot more of PAX content, to talk about. And a lot of our working class questions are about PAX. So next week, we're also going to be talking about PAX. Hopefully have those audio clips queued up. Definitely going to release our day one breakdown. So yeah, stay tuned for more PAX details.
What are you guys talking about in here?
Find out next episode of Working Class Nerds.